Paul. It's me. It's Matt in the booth and Mike. On your long commute from Sharon, you had some time to think.
The ref union ever be like, hey, we'd like to not also be the timekeeper? Like, could we just get a timekeeper?
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but there's a scoreboard and there's a button that says on the clock, on and off.
Vintage Holy Cross baseball jersey, and I won the raffle.
Should I wear my BU baseball uniform?
Well, that's a real one. That's a real one.
So when it came to clothes, including uniforms, were the 70s the worst decade ever?
By worst, you mean the best.
Yeah.
No, I mean the worst.
I think they were awesome.
Pittsburgh
Bad.
Pirates.
Awesome.
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 Oh.
And all the different combinations.
Awful.
I don't really like mathematical formulas to determine these things because you're wrong, Mike, and let me tell you why.
You guys could take a look at my calculator. It's pretty, I think, revolutionary for the conversations that people are having around who the best is. This actually does the calculations for you.
Evan will absolutely despise it.
Because he didn't come up with it, but
Right.
that's cool.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Tuesday here at Gillette Stadium, and it's me, it's Alex, it's Deuce, it's Matt in the booth. Where's Paul? He's still on vacation?
Vacationing. I think
It's a
Again?
staycation, though.
Where's he now?
Shoot, I don't know.
It's a staycation. He sent me a photo of him and Beth last night in like coordinated outfits. He was wearing a pink shirt.
Watching the
Boy.
tall ships.
and watching the tall ships.
Yeah.
You know you're old when you're coordinating outfits with your wife.
Yeah,
I don't know if they
yeah.
coordinated,
I
but
think
it
it was
looked
actually
like they
salmon
did.
colored. Was right out of
And then
Right
do
out
we-
of Vineyard
Do we
Vines.
know where Evan is?
Oh, he's definitely on the vineyard.
He was
I
on the
think.
vineyard.
Yeah.
He was doing 1 week on the vineyard and 1 week staycation in the city with Jess. So
okay.
I don't know what the order of that was.
I hope he didn't pick this
Okay.
week to staycation because it's
All right.
it's spicy out.
Well, we'll get through this without him. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
We're gonna have to fill some time, but I'm ready to
Yeah.
talk.
So FIFA's done for Gillette Stadium.
Yeah.
And they're clearing out. We're getting back to normal here.
Yeah.
Getting ready for training camp.
Pulling in, I was like, the war is over. I can park right in front of the building.
So next weekend, not this one, next weekend,
Here we go.
it's training camp time,
back.
folks.
Gear it up. I mean, Friday.
July 25th.
Yeah, Friday Vrabel talk, and off you go. And I love the clip teasing Forged in Foxborough coming Friday.
Yeah.
Episode 2 this season. But he's like, you're gonna go someplace, and then you're gonna come back, and it's gonna get fast and competitive, and it's awesome. I mean, the 3 joint practices this summer are really exciting to me. Just those are such great takes, and to not have to worry about traveling to one, to welcome 2 different teams here, 2 good teams that have a lot of good players to watch. It's gonna be a fun summer, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a good training camp. Lots to talk about, lots to keep track of and analyze, and I'm sure we'll overdo it a little bit with our knee-jerk reactions after, guys in shorts on the first day and things like that. But it'll be fun. And just a reminder, on that first day, Saturday, July 25th, we'll be live from practice as we always do. So we'll cover that practice live. We'll also cover the first day in pads live, and we'll cover those joint practices live.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, we'll have wrap-ups every day after each practice, and our positional preview started running yesterday, so we've got the defensive line and the offensive line going, so it's starting to ramp up, Fred. Here we
Yeah.
go, 2026 Patriots.
Yeah, lots going on. What's going on with you, Alex?
Forcing myself back into the swing of things. It's been kind of nice with FIFA gone. I feel like it's just been so low key here, and then this is our last week, and back to the grizzy.
I was telling Alex, Fred, I think I hit the cycle this weekend for a Cape weekend. Like, I think I pretty much hit every single thing I need to accomplish. I was like, I ate a lobster roll, I swam in the ocean, I flew a kite, I caught a fish, I ate a fish.
Flying a kite was on your list.
It's not usually on my list, but I was being the funkle. I had my young nephews and nieces around, and we were going through our beach bag, and I'm like, oh, there's a kite in here. And usually
When's the last time you
disaster.
flew a kite?
Right. Like, do you ever remember successfully flying a kite?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I don't. I've always just been, you sit there and it goes right into the ground,
Gets tangled.
I guess in my old age, I figured out how to fly a kite, and I got that sucker way up, and the kids were all like, this is awesome. So
My dad and I flew a kite from Dennisport, and it got so far out that the string broke. Like there
Wow.
was so much weight on the string and I don't know where the kite ended up.
kind of fun, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
is.
You know,
it
you're
is.
like, it's way
Yeah.
up there. So
Washed
that's,
up
for me, is what I
somewhere.
need to like get ready for the season. And I need it was only 3 days we were down there, but I went out on the Albatross, the famous boat. So did some fishing, did some swimming. I feel like I'm checking my boxes, and the batteries are getting charged up for go time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not yet for you?
No, I still have things to do. I still have things to do, some of which I won't get to, but
Oh, that's life.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I do like the lifestyle of training camp though. Like, I don't know. I feel like I spend a lot of time in Rhode Island during camp, so it's just coming here. You're outside all day, and I just go home to the beach. It's like I spend maybe the only time I'm inside is sleeping during camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should have been around the days when we had training camp at Bryant College.
Oh, my Lord.
Where some people literally lived there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the
practice.
team did, but I mean,
Like they would open the dorms to you guys
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, you think about all the
What a
stuff,
trip.
all the stuff that our
I
department
love
has
you
to
guys,
do
but not like that.
for each training camp practice. And imagine now you have 2 of those every day, and
Right.
you have to like not
2
only
practices
you're gonna
a
shoot the
day.
morning practice, then you got to shoot the afternoon
Yeah.
practice. You got all this footage and all this mic'd up stuff. So maybe it's a little bit
The
easier.
upside then is, you got all your meals too.
Oh yeah.
Fair.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Good point.
But yeah, you were there all
But
day.
you're out in the sun. Like, do you
Yeah.
even want to eat when it's that hot? I don't even.
No, you
get
work up an
hungry.
appetite.
Yeah. Working
We
hard.
actually had a tent on the sideline.
Okay.
It was just one field too. That's the other thing. One field. And we had a tent that we would sit under along with the other media. And it was wild. It was much different. 2-a-days, that whole thing.
Yeah.
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 But the food was good.
I mean, what about the players too? Like we're talking about like what we have to do to watch. The players, I mean, it seems a lot harder back then. Probably a conversation we'll always have about did that better prepare them for the season? Were there less injuries early on because of that? Or were there more injuries in camp because of that?
Right.
I tend to miss some of that. Especially the first 4 days that we're probably just gonna be out
Yeah.
there and extension of mini camp essentially, just putting
Well,
stuff
I
in.
just remember, they do the goal line red zone stuff and Ted Johnson in the middle, Sam Gash at fullback, and they would, smash each other like, those mountain goats. I mean, seriously, that's what it
Yeah.
looked and sounded like. It was violent impacts, and it's amazing that they didn't get hurt more.
Yeah, yeah.
know?
Maybe you'll get some Robert Spillane, Reggie Gilliam, like that's
Yeah.
the modern version of
Yep.
Mike versus fullback.
All right. So you were grumbling, Deuce, about lists.
Oh, rankings.
Rankings.
I
And there's
know.
one in particular that's got your
Well, there's a couple that we
Your
can get
backup.
into. There's
This
the
is why
quarterback
Fred
one.
is anti-list.
I know. Well,
Moments like
but
this.
when we're in the dog days here, leading up to camp, and you kind of don't have any new news to talk about, any new signings and stuff. But the Chris Sims thing came out, which as soon as you see it's Chris Sims, you're like, oh, he's gonna dog
Yeah.
Brady on this one.
Yeah.
Brady. So it's QBs in their prime, which how else would you rank them? Like, do you ever
Right.
think let's rank quarterbacks on the back end, on the
Right.
back nine of their career?
Right.
I'm so sure in their prime, but we had Peyton, Mahomes, Rodgers, Elway, Brett Favre, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Marino, Brady getting in there at 9, right behind Roger Staubach.
Brady
So-
comes in at 9. And so this is just total who's the best quarterback in their prime?
in their prime.
There
yeah.
weren't any caveats.
No, I
or-
just said in their prime, which I guess
That's insane. Come on. Not that he
just
had any
trolling.
credibility, but
trolling.
if he was looking for any credibility, he surely didn't get it from this.
Yeah. And some people are talking about, and I know this sometimes goes with Brady of, not the most physically gifted, perhaps. And certainly, Lamar Jackson is more physically gifted than
But
Brady.
but again,
that's not just
why I
quarterbacking,
asked,
right?
who had the best arm? Okay, I can
you're
see.
left to figure it
right,
out.
Right, but if it's just who was the best, who commanded the position best, who exemplified what being a great quarterback did best, how could you pick anyone else but Tom Brady?
Especially
I
with his
know.
mind. That was where I was headed with it. And someone, I didn't
What
see
is
who
he-
on Twitter, put clips together of Brady walking to the line, looking around, being like, oh, backing up, directing guys, and then all of a sudden it's a huge play.
Right.
So is that a factor? Because I think no one's better than Tom Brady.
Brady and Chris Sims' paths cross here.
Yeah.
Chris Sims
I
was
don't know
here
what he
for a
did
while.
to him. Did he tape his butt cheeks together? I don't know.
Brady must have said or done something
Played
to
a
Chris
prank
Sims
on him or something.
that he's forever hates him.
Well, what is Chris Sims considering Brady's prime?
It doesn't matter.
Basically, 2003
But, like-
to 2019.
Yeah.
His 16-year prime was, it was about 9th compared to what, the 7 years Roger Staubach. I don't know if you're Roger Staubach, but you know what I mean.
That's insane.
Some of these guys, longevity, and I found myself thinking, drawing it to Drake May of, and we get into Josh McDaniels and just the freedom Brady had as a quarterback to do things and adjust things. And certainly you can look at some of those quarterbacks ahead of him and say, no, with some of these guys had really special, weird talents that are really fun to watch. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. But, when the game's on the line and you need a guy who's going to orchestrate a drive, like with
Isn't that what a quarterback is all about? Isn't that the essence of the leader of the offense on a football team, that in those moments you can count on that person and he comes through time and time again? Isn't that Tom Brady?
Yeah, and that's what to me is, there can be people with physical gifts, but somebody who can like in the most physical sport that there is, can win with his mind and, have that unique skill amongst a bunch of brutes.
I can
What
make
were
the
the knocks
argument
against him?
I can make the argument if you want to just turn, in just terms of pure athleticism and, physical. To me, Elway would probably be number one.
Sure, right.
But
yep,
he wasn't the quarterback that Tom Brady was.
right, the quarterback.
Right.
Like you could say like the athlete and all that. So
Right.
I don't let these things bother me too much. It's great to like, all right, what are we talking about today? Let's jump into some rankings. But Chris Sims has kind of made a career out of just putting Brady low in his rankings, and then everybody reacts to it. And meanwhile, I don't know how much traction he gets with other fan bases who are like, "Yep, we're number one again."
Yeah,
but
he knows what he's doing.
you knew exactly what was coming the second you opened it up.
Engagement farming.
And the other one was just ESPN coming out with their current rankings, which had our friend Drake May number 8. So his current rankings.
So what's the
Josh Allen number 1?
But what's the title of that list? Like,
This is they talked to various executives around the league, asking them who are the best players at each position. It's with research and film study help from Matt Bowen at ESPN Research. So more than 70 voters submitted a ballot on at least one position. So a bunch of people in the NFL, so that's fine. These guys, it's not just one guy saying, here are my power rankings. But they had Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes up at the top. Matthew Stafford still hanging in there. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and Drake May as number 8. But, I mean, for me, if you're starting a team and you're talking about who do you want from here going forward, like I'd be hard-pressed to take somebody over Drake May. I mean, and I might say Joe Burrow, but, he's had injury issues.
Right.
He's had
What's even going to look like after?
I mean.
yeah,
all the
to me
time he
that
missed.
one's a little bit more debatable because Drake May's had the one great year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of factors, pro and con, I feel like. Like, one is it's his first year with Josh McDaniels. It's his second year in the league. He obviously is the youngest kid on all of these rankings. But, then you talk about, the schedule, and he wasn't great in the playoffs. And,
It's true.
all those things are all true. I just, everything being equal, if you're starting a team tomorrow and you want long-term competitiveness and, to be in the mix, I think Drake May would be in the top 3.
I think it's a good investment, safe investment. But I remember after 2001 and after Brady won the Super Bowl that first year as a starter, people were saying, well, he did it that year, but, we'll see. We don't know if he's great yet. And it's fair.
I think it's fair.
Like you have to,
Yeah.
you have to follow it up. You have to, the definition of greatness is doing it time after time. And that's who you become is that great player. It's not, he did it once or once in a while. It's the consistency that makes you great.
I kind of like this stuff. Like, I don't want everybody being like, the Patriots are back. They're
Yeah,
number 1.
right.
Like, let's prove it again. Let's, knock them down. Yeah, the schedule was easy. They had, really good injury luck. They, made the most of their opportunities. But I think I just keep going back to anytime we talk about this stuff. It's like they were a good football team last year. I don't know where they ranked or how you want to step, but they were a good football team. I've seen bad football teams the last 2 years.
Exactly.
They were a good football team.
They were a
last year.
sound football team. Most of the time, they didn't beat themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why they won a lot of those games.
And somebody's got to beat all the bad teams. Like, other
Yeah.
teams had bad
Right.
schedules too. Like, so,
How many good teams lost to bad teams this year, too? It was such a funky year.
Right.
But they were the ones that, I was looking on, Josh Allen, I thought, because people were, talking about Drake's playoff performance, and that's why you say, well, Josh Allen had some terrible turnovers against Denver. I mean, they might have won that
also
game.
ahead of Drake on this list.
Right.
And
But both those guys married to actresses.
And I guess Dan Orlovsky on that list that you were just
Singer.
talking about with Drake, Anthony says Orlovsky had a comment on X. He said, you basically can switch QBs 8 through 12 and see the same results.
Okay. 8 through 12.
8 through
would be
12.
Jared Goff is 9th. Caleb Williams is 10th. We have some honorable mentions here from Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, who might be, poised to get back into that list. Jordan Love. There are some guys that he's above of that
Remind me where he put Dak.
Dak was like 6th, I believe. So, 6th. So I don't know. I know Evan's a big Dak fan. I'd love to hear him kind of talk about Dak a little bit. But, at a certain point, when does it start to say, and look, I'm not.
I know.
Like, Drake went to the Super Bowl last year and he got some breaks, but like, Josh Allen hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet. Lamar Jackson hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet.
Herbert from the Chargers.
Herbert hasn't been to a Super Bowl yet. And I don't, not like, that's the thing. But if I'm a fan watching my team and my quarterback found a way to kind of sneak through, like, sometimes those things are kind of fluky one-off years. And I found myself kind of looking at Dan Marino, like, why did Dan Marino go to the Super Bowl? And then he kind of, what was the reason?
He never went back.
How come he never went back? Great player, had pretty good weapons, I would say, with Duper and Clayton over the years. But Drake got there, and, he made the plays that he had to make. Will it repeat this year? I don't know. But from the sample size we've had, he's been able to, win some games that, and that was a big question for me. I still think he needs to go through a few more of those situations where you're like, they're going to lose today. They ain't got it. And then all of a sudden he just pulls it out somehow. And I think those are the games that I'll be excited to watch for this year. It's going to be more competitive, I think, these good teams.
Yep. Love it. All right. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at patriots.com is the way to email the show. Any early thoughts on the newsletter this while we have you here?
It's a very detailed one last week.
I love last week's.
Yeah.
I thought last week's was really good.
I feel like last week I was just kind of like throwing it together because I don't know if it's because a lot of people upstairs have been out of the office, but not as many PU clips have been going on like the YouTube. So I was like, what am I even going to do this week? And sometimes that's the case. And like Thursday night, I'm like, what the hell am I going to write? And then
you could tell Fred liked it. There was a good job, Alex.
Yeah,
follow-up email.
I love when I get a good job on or like nice on this, and it beyond the approved or good with me.
Fine.
Yeah. No, it struck me as a really good newsletter.
I think there's going to be a call to. I feel like next week feels like a good week for Guess That Listener Part 2.
Oh,
we'll have the guys back, and there was some leftovers from the first time. I thought it was kind of fun.
Well, I was really hoping Paul would be here because.
Well, if we do it next week, he will be.
Yeah. He got educated by a few of our emailers for something he said about soccer, soccer in Europe or in England specifically, always having to be different and changing the names, and people, factually made the
was
point
that Paul
that
or Evan?
they were first. They were first.
Yeah.
Their words and their lexicon came before ours. So if anything, we're the ones that decided to change everything up.
Yeah.
So it was a good point made by more than one of our listeners.
I saw a guy on the boat yesterday had it. Did you wear a Bayern Munich shirt? Was that what the
Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
I wore that in Frankfurt.
Yeah. I read a guy on the boat was fishing yesterday had that on. So didn't watch much of the games, but I'll tune in today. I mean, you're getting rallied down to the great teams, the great players.
It should be
fun.
too good. I mean, France looks like
Legit.
it's the team to beat. They're playing Spain, and then tomorrow's a big one. Argentina and England.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
They're both awesome games.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch anything over the weekend. It was just I was talking to Deuce about this. It's just too nice out to care,
Yeah.
But
Your teams are out.
My teams are out, so but this week is gonna be fun.
Fred, what about did you find the home run derby last night on Netflix?
Listen, I didn't stick it out.
Home
till
run
the
derby
end.
was last night?
Yeah, and I guess, it got really competitive at the end, but
6
I was
homers to
bored.
win it.
I tapped out 3/4 of the way through the first round.
Yeah.
After Ben Rice, I think I tapped out.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing over and over again. Guys swinging the bat, and yes, the balls are majestic, and but it's the same thing over and over, and it's a long night. I mean, it was shorter than other ones because they took away the clock, I guess, made it shorter, but it was still close to 3 hours. Didn't get over till like 11:15. Started at 8. That's too long for just watching guys swing the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they need to do, but maybe targets that you hit out there, like for prizes or
hit the bull,
or something like that,
like Topgolf, but baseball home run derby,
something like that, just to liven it up because it's the same thing over and over all night.
Well, you've just been flying high on the Red Sox win streak, so you're like, I don't need this right now.
No, let's get back to what counts. Red Sox 9-game winning streak, 2 games under 500. They were 14 or 15.
It's so funny.
Half a game out of the wild card. Let's go.
I always watch it. Like I just hear like
Swept the Yankees.
Well, that was a long
Okay.
time. That seemed like forever ago.
I don't watch a lot of
It's only
games.
a
Like,
few
I'll
games
flip
ago,
them
though.
on.
But this coming out of the All-Star is going to be a big test for them.
Right,
But anyway,
that's always it. But it's just always I always have this experience with the Red Sox where they've started pretty bad the last couple of years and then they make a run. But like when I flip on Paul's shows and I just hear about how horrible they are,
Right.
And it's just and then all of a sudden I don't really get. I'm like, oh, okay, they're horrible. I don't I'm not really watching. I don't really have an opinion about how good or bad they are. And then all of a sudden they go on a win streak and they're kind of back in it. Like last year they were back in it. And I'm like, well, are they that bad or like what? Like,
well,
what
that's
is
the
talk
thing.
radio
Like,
doing
if
to
you
me?
listen, like you said, if you listen to some of the people on Paul's shows,
Or Paul.
like you would think this was the worst team to ever.
Right. I mean,
feel.
and they were like second to last.
and they were playing really bad. The thing about it, and I don't blame anyone for being frustrated with how they played, is they were tops in the league in defense and close to tops in the league in pitching.
Yeah.
And so you want, like, is that sustainable? Is playing that bad that sustainable? And it isn't when you have a team like that. Eventually it's going to even out. You're going to come back to the middle somehow. So, like, yeah, do I think that they're as good as the Dodgers? Of course not. But they're not as bad as they were.
Yeah.
They never were. And so now we're seeing, the pitching has held up and the hitting's getting a little better.
Yeah.
And so now they're starting to win games. They're not going to not lose games again. Of course they will. They'll probably end up around 500.
Is this a function of just baseball as a sport, or is it also or the length of the season where there's a lot more ups and downs and lulls to the journey?
I think for some teams they're just bad.
Yeah.
They're just, whether it's small market, low payroll, they're just not as good as the other teams. But that's not the case with the Red Sox. Their payroll's pretty high. And I know people are calling them cheap these days and everything, but they are paying guys. They're paying guys. But you look at the Red Sox situation, and they lost a lot of guys. Not that Trevor Story's high in the list, but you lost your ace. You didn't even start the season with Hoke, who used to be one of your better pitchers. Now Early's hurt. I always call him Roman Holiday. Roman Tony's hurt. Marcelo Meyer, I don't know what's going on with him. They send him down to Fort Myers just to get him the hell out of there. I'm convinced, because he was just a bad apple, I guess. They've
many
lost a
girls
lot
around
of guys that they're waiting, hoping to get back at some point. So I think their situation, you have to look at it in context.
Yeah.
And you really can't say, well, this is like an overall trend.
Now it's like you just keep in the hunt after the All-Star break.
Right.
And now it's like, all right, put up or shut up. If you're a good team, then be a good team into August and September to make that push. But so I guess they've set the table. You must be happy. I mean, it's worth watching. It's fun to watch.
They fired their manager. Let's not forget that. But more importantly to me, they fired that driveline company
Yeah.
that was supposedly telling them how to hit. And ever since they did that, you've seen market improvement in a lot of the guys like Caleb Durbin, who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn while they were there. And now he's hitting, and he's hitting for power. Yeah. Guys like that are much improved since they got rid of driveline.
Was that who was the first base coach? Pete Fatsy? Because he was there for a long time. I wonder if it was like an issue just developing the young guys hitting, or I don't know.
I don't know, but Caleb Durbin's not necessarily that young. He's been around a little bit, and he fell apart, but now he's doing really well.
Yeah, yeah.
Tony Siegler. I know he's called Anthony, but he's come up, and people say, well, you can't sustain that. Well, hopefully, he can be somewhere near that, but then Anthony comes back. Roman Anthony comes back. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I think there's hope, and then the big question is, once they get to the trade deadline, are they buyers or sellers?
Yeah.
I think 3-4 weeks ago, people would say they got to sell. But I think now, there's some guys they should sell and not get rentals, but get someone who will be on the team for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a fun summer. Otherwise, you're watching like the NBA Summer League. Like I'm looking for anything to watch on TV yesterday. I'm like, NBA Summer League. Like,
Oh, no.
This is. I know
I
All-Star Weekend is
refuse.
like no sports going on right now. But yeah, it's limping through. Football come back and save
Yeah.
us.
No, I found myself wondering when I was listening to you guys on Thursday, is the lore you dropped about you and the Red Sox and like the keychains and your petition to get them that, is
Yeah.
that kind of like where your loyalty came from? Because you're watching them no matter what. it
No, I
seems.
mean, like I said, when I was like in first grade, kindergarten, living in Rhode Island, Channel 6, it was Yaz Bread, Enrico Petrocelli, and, you kind of grew up with the Red Sox in your blood. So even though I moved to New Jersey and became a Mets fan during that time, I was always still a Red Sox fan. So Red Sox have always been,
Yeah.
part of who I am.
I want like the timeline of your life and like the ages that you were a fan of this team.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this
Oh, that's a
team.
good graphic. Yeah,
Maybe that's a good newsletter idea.
Yeah,
Sure.
Or idea,
right.
just
A Fred
a
timeline
Fred
of
fandom
fanships.
timeline.
Paul would enjoy that one, I think.
Yeah.
He would also like to have like the various championships won by each organization.
Well, we'll
during-
have Fred do it, and then we'll have Paul's sidebar commentary. That has legs.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, and don't eat lettuce. That's also what we're learning
Yeah.
these days, folks.
Oh, boy.
Don't eat lettuce.
I am growing it though, if you need any.
Yeah, right.
You're
yeah,
growing
let's
your
go.
own lettuce. What kind?
Romaine,
Great lettuce.
iceberg. I have like a tri-colored one.
Spinach.
I
Arugula.
no spinach, no arugula. I have a hydro tower right now, so I'm growing it out of
Wow.
that.
Those are cool. They work
I'm
good.
Really, it's
Indoor
awesome.
indoor
It's
hydro tower,
awesome. I would have 10 of them if I could.
So how big is your plot?
It's a container garden, so all my plants are in containers because it's in the side of my house. It was like paved for a driveway. Like imagine like you would put like a boat on the side there. It's about 10 feet wide by probably 30 feet deep, and it's just tomato plants,
Nice.
cucumbers. I got a lot of stuff.
Farmer's
I'll bring you
market.
guys in some produce.
Right.
I went to the farmer's market this weekend. I was like, these guys don't have jack on my veggies right now. My
Wow.
stuff looks so
That's
much
great.
better.
Do you use Miracle Grow or anything?
Hell
like
no,
that?
all organic.
All organic.
All natural.
You're set now. You can start a podcast, gardening podcast.
You want me as a guest?
Farming with Francisco.
Farming with Francisco. I'm
Okay.
in my Martha Stewart era, guys.
All right. Okay. I know on the Cape it's
I'll
tough.
put
It's
pictures
tough
in
to
the
grow
newsletter.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The soil's so sandy.
But you could do containers or like a raised bed.
raised bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
It's a
I
lot
don't
of
need
work.
That. I just go to the store.
It's funny because I'm like, wow, I only had to spend thousands of dollars to build this garden up to save a little bit of money on my
Right.
grocery bill.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
but it's
so
rewarding.
like in 2040 you'll start to see a return on that.
I think
yeah.
so. Well, I got the return on cucumbers already. 11 cucumbers harvested already.
Tomatoes, good.
All right.
Yeah. it's fun.
Okay. 855 past 500. Let's start checking out what people have to say and what they're writing about. Again, I wish Paul was here because people were really schooling him, and it's always good to call out his stubbornness.
Yeah. Sure.
His parochialism. Anthony's in Seattle. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, Fred? Who we got? Deuce and Alex today?
Yeah.
You got it.
We don't have a name.
Look at Alex making time for us.
Of course, just for you.
I know, especially when it's
Hey,
nice out.
I know I could be tanning right now.
Hey, Deuce, you didn't get a chance. Deuce, you did not get a chance to ask me before I got off the phone when I called on Thursday. But yes, I am going to be going to the opener.
Nice.
I have not bought tickets
Yeah.
yet. I'm just going to wait. I'm waiting until it gets closer to game time and the prices come down. But I don't want to wait too late because obviously I don't want to get sold out. But funny, quick story. I went with to the 2012 game. Me and my cousin went together. He's a diehard Seahawks fan.
Yeah, I was there.
And and then obviously the 4-year rotation, AFC, NFC, and then the 8-year rotation because they alternate home and away. So here we are, on the clock for 2020, and of course COVID hit, so we weren't able to go to the game. Because they weren't allowing fans at the time. So it was really nice for obviously we were back on the clock for 2028. But then I saw at the end of last year, at the end of the season where they were going into week 18, and they had announced the 2026 opponents. But the two that were outstanding was, I think it was like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, because they had to play for their division. And then we would be traveling to the winner of Seattle and San Francisco because we're on that rotation of that when they added the 17th game, that interconference thing. So Yeah, I was telling people all week at work. I said, hey, and they shifted the game to Saturday, so I told everybody at work. I said, hey, I'll be a Hawks fan on Saturday. I'll be back to being a Patriots fan on Sunday, but I need you guys to win this game to bring my Patriots to town. So, hey, quick thing, and I hope I don't want to take too long, but
You already did.
I'm
only.
going to the day one of the Eagles joint practices on Wednesday the 19th. And so 2 quick questions about that, and I'll get off the air. One, we're going to be in town like a couple hours early, and we're just going to go straight to the game and wait. Do you line up like do you go like straight to the main gate like if you were going to the game and they funnel you to the practice fields? Where's a good place to line up? And then the other question is, will you guys be doing a live show? I'd love to be able to give you guys a wave or maybe shoot an email or call in while I'm there and say hi to you guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, Anthony. So the answer to the question is they line up on the west side of the stadium, behind the stadium.
I think it's like the CVS gate.
Yeah, the
something.
CVS gate.
Yep.
So it's not like if it was a game. So you want to go to the west side of the stadium where the hotel is and just go to the rear of the stadium, the CVS gate. That's where they line up. And I think practice is like at 10:30 or something like that. Yeah. So probably, people line up hours and hours.
Oh, not
earlier.
hours. There's a group of kids from the Providence area in Rhode Island. They camp out in the parking lot all night. They've done it every year.
So you don't have to do that.
You don't.
It's not like, there's no assigned seating. It's all free. Parking is free. But that's where you go. You go on the west side of the stadium, on the back of the stadium, and that's where they lead you right into the stands for the practice field.
Yeah, those will be 10:15 a.m.
Yeah,
So
and then, yes, we will be live for that joint practice on the 19th. We'll be up in the ramp, so you can wave to us up there.
Yeah, we'll come down afterwards.
Anthony's a specialist.
Yeah, and you might.
Say hi.
Yeah,
who knows? You might be there before.
I don't know. Yeah,
entertaining the crowd.
I might be hyping the crowd this year. They haven't asked me yet, but I'm
Anthony,
I'm
email
happy
me.
to.
I'll come find you.
Oh yeah, but yeah, we'll do like a show during stretching in the early parts, and then we'll probably come down. So hang around afterwards because a lot of the players will do autograph sessions, especially even the Eagles and Colts will probably do it as well.
Yeah.
But we're always around there. It's always awesome to hear our Patriots Unfiltered listeners when we go out there. Deuce, it's great. I love hearing.
Isn't that the
and
first
meeting
time you
people.
guys met the kid from the draft? Wasn't he at training camp?
No,
Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
I could
we
be
met.
misremembering
There's
him.
a lot of kids, but we met one kid at the draft party, and he called back in from Rhode Island, and I'm blanking on his name. I'm sure it'll come to me in a second, but no, it's great. I love try to bring some T-shirts down if I can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's been our. We've noticed that when we have these joint practices, the visiting team is very gracious in terms of giving autographs.
Especially the Eagles.
Yeah, it's
The
almost
Eagles
like
were
they show
awesome
off, and
the
like
last
they
time
want to
they were
show
here.
up the home team.
Yeah.
Even their security guard was signing autographs. He was the last person on the field signing
Oh,
autographs.
yeah, right.
Yeah, Big
He's
Dom.
kind of famous, right? Yeah, Big
Yeah.
Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember AJ Brown last year, was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
when
So if you're looking for like Jalen Hurts or
Subtle foreshadowing.
some of the Eagles players,
Right.
you'll have a good chance of
I
getting
mean,
those.
Saquon Barkley. I've just been telling all the
Yeah.
kids that I run into around here that I feel like the Patriots have a little resurgence this year. I've been like talking to a lot of kids who are like, we're like, when the Patriots, oh yeah, they're into the Patriots again.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool.
again.
We got we have a young quarterback.
Yeah.
Whereas in the last few years of the Patriots, even with Brady, he was an old guy.
Yeah.
So like the kids are relating to Drake May.
They really are. I try
Yeah.
to always, I was on the Cape for the 4th with my younger cousins, 17, 18. I always like to ask them about what they're watching, what they're into, where they're watching sports and stuff. The kids are loving YouTube. They're loving Drake May. They're the Patriots are the hottest thing in town again.
Yeah.
Wow.
We really are.
Drake May,
Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
And you can't forget about Ann Michael.
No, I don't. Well, I ran into somebody from North Carolina. It was actually my babysitter. We all go to the same beach, and I haven't seen this woman
Yeah.
since she babysat me when I was 5. But they're from North Carolina. And they're like, "How's Drake doing? We love Drake. I mean, that's
Yeah.
our second team now. And Michael."
That's the
they're
case for a
whole-
lot of people down in Charlotte.
Yeah, they're. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
one of my
super-
best friends moved to Huntersville in the last couple years. I think that's where Drake's from. And whenever she tells people she's from Massachusetts, they literally bring up Drake May. And she's like, I don't know football, but that's so great that you like the Patriots.
It is random with Bill Belichick coaching North Carolina.
That
and
too,
and,
I
there's a
know,
lot of
right?
there's just a weird connection going on right
Yeah.
now. We even get a ton of calls from North Carolina too. There's always
do.
Yeah.
a group of North Carolina. calls.
Steve up north wants to know,
state.
with Paul gone, how does it feel to talk and not be interrupted? It's very freeing.
Oh, I don't know. I love like sometimes it's like I start to talk about things and I know how Paul feels about it. I'm like, well, I want him to chime in on it, or I don't want him to chime in on it. You know, I'm like, oh, I can actually get a point out. But no, I miss Paulie. I mean, a lot of the best conversation happens off the air when he comes in and we talk. But
Morning powwows.
Yeah, but I miss Paul. I like having him on.
I just gave you 2.
It's also just too like Paul, like how much he cares. Like he'll come out and be like, oh, somebody tweeted at me. Like, somebody tweeted something I didn't like.
I know. I was sending him like soccer breakdowns from the week where we were talking about why it just hasn't caught on in the U.S. Whatever. I guess a bunch of fans were sending him the same exact tweets. He was like, I know, I read it. Everyone sent this to me 10 times. I'm like, oh, he's great.
Yeah. Well, Paul, I love it. So, he gets a lot like, you should be able to have your opinion. Everyone can have their opinion, right? Like Paul's very much like what's wrong with having an opinion,
right.
But if you're on the other end of the spectrum and you have an opinion he doesn't agree with, that doesn't mean that he's not going to come at you and yell at you for it. He'll love your right to have that opinion, but he'll still want to yell at you about it.
But he uses that as deflection, because if you disagree with him, I can't have my opinion.
Right.
I love when people tell me what to think. That's what he says.
Right. That's a big hot button with Paul that I've noticed over the years. Like anybody telling him what to think, or not saying an opinion is okay.
That
you're
prejudice
right,
against Italians.
Yeah, just tell him to be better. That really gets him. That he hates that.
Well, I'm not your dude.
Tyler says, gotta say, great job to everyone during the offseason. You've been great. Also, PU is so much better and amazing with Alex coming in more than just Thursdays. You gotta say, her boyfriend is lucky. I hope I get to meet you guys soon.
Did you get the other call on Thursday? Somebody called
I
in?
listened to that. That was really nice.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
You got to make like a mix of those calls, so whenever you're feeling a little blue, you just the Alex pump.
Is that too narcissist though?
Well, it's having like
I don't
your
get
own
that sad ever, but if it comes to that, I will definitely have Maddie cook
time to
something
play
up for
my
me.
MP3, validation.
No, I like that. That was really nice.
John in Louisiana, I recently caught up on last week's episodes today, and when you guys were talking about Steven and Chisholm's comments about the Celtics, I swear to God, I thought you were talking about Ramondre and Efton Chisholm. It took me about 20 minutes afterwards when Alex brought...
I'm like, Efton Chisholm's not worth what everyone thinks
when
he
Alex
is.
brought up Jaylen Brown and Brad Stevens' relationship, I was like, wow, they're talking about the Celtics upper management.
Yeah.
Also, I think less of a man who has never cut a lawn more than a man who wears a professional athlete's jersey. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
That's fair.
Bayou.
That's totally fair. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
I also it's one
But
of those
if you don't
things,
have a lawn, I get it.
not to be Paul, but hey, everyone's entitled to an opinion. I didn't realize people would be so passionate about the jersey thing. Like, totally wear a jersey. That is your prerogative.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I look at it so different when you were a kid and your parents make you mow the lawn. It sucked, but now I take great satisfaction
Put
in
a
it.
podcast on.
I mean, it took I didn't buy a home and have a lawn to mow till late in my life. So now I mow that sucker and then I'll just sit on the deck and kind of look out at it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like this is what the garden
lines.
is. The garden has taught me. We live in such a world where it's just instant gratification, But the little things like tending to a garden and mowing your lawn and just like feeling so accomplished right after is so good for the soul.
My wife said the other day, she's like, for not really putting any money to it, we really put the lawn together pretty nice today. And I was thank you.
My wife.
Because I literally just it's not a great lawn. I'm not going to lie. It's not. It needs work.
You guys got a
I
good-
just
a
mow the
good
sucker.
lawn.
And if you just mow it and you just go and there's some weeds, and it's all uniform.
It's all green.
It looks fine. You get the
Yeah.
lines for a little bit. It looks good enough from when we moved in. We got our septic put in. So it was just mud, it was just mud. And I essentially, I've just mowed it. Just
You had a
keep
good piece of
on-
land. You
Keep
had a good
on
little piece
mowing.
of land.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah, I have this one brown patch. I just can't get it to grow. So on Saturday,
Is that where the dog goes to the bathroom?
No. I dug it up, down, and then I bought this, special soil just for growing grass. And I put that soil down, put the seed in, mixed it in really nicely, and I've been making sure it's staying moist in this weather. It's not easy.
No.
Hopefully I can fill in that patch.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
it bothered me. Otherwise, everything looks great. That one patch
Your
right
eyes
in the
always
middle.
go to that one patch.
Yeah. So
Tough time
we'll see
right
what
now
happens.
for you to be doing that. I feel like every town on the coast is save water.
Yeah, Sandwich has
Big
been
time.
good. Hyannis,
Really?
they have a water ban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Truro, we had an issue, and then down in
Yeah.
Rhode Island,
Yeah.
water ban too.
The other thing I got done this weekend, I have these cobblestones at the end of the driveway, like on the apron,
Oh, nice.
and they've been there forever. And the cement has just like it's dust
1700s.
by now.
Your house is literal cobblestone.
Right. So we had that torrential rain like 2-3 weeks ago, and like all this gray dust just went right down into the driveway. It's like, oh crap, I got to take care of this. So I cleaned out some of the channels and bought this ready to go cement. Not the right stuff.
Ooh.
The gaps are too wide and too deep, so it never really dries.
Yeah.
So I got a guy off of Thumbtack. You ever use Thumbtack?
No. Is it like
It's a
TaskRabbit type thing?
Yeah. It's an app. You go on, you tell it what you're looking for, and it puts you in touch with professionals in your area, and then they come back with estimates.
Yeah.
This guy came back with a really Lee Stone and Brick.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll give him a shout out. Lee Brick and Stone.
Free advertising.
But he came back with a really reasonable thing, and he did a fantastic job.
Nice.
It's all done.
Yeah, there you go.
Amazing.
It's all done.
You still having that issue with your neighbor? Like, wasn't he putting a gravel driveway in and it would just wash away into your yard or something?
It was like pine chips and stuff, or tree chips
yeah.
and wood chips.
mulch.
But he's figured it out.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, he figured it out.
Did you have to help him, or he just
No,
came to it on his own?
It only took 2 times of it totally washing out into my yard. But no, he's looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just picture you watching from the window, being like, "He's at it again. When's he gonna learn?"
yeah.
Neighbors, man.
I found out he's a nurse on those med life flights.
Oh wow,
yeah, so
that's intense.
New respect for him.
Yeah.
They wanted my mom to do that, and she was like, "You could not pay me money to get into a helicopter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so dangerous to fly in those."
No. Well, my
Hell
sister had to
no.
ride in one because she was playing indoor soccer and she was like fell off the bench and she broke her neck. She had to be med flight. I mean, it wasn't like anything hit, any of the nerves in there, but she had to take the helicopter. Like,
Something that just
Intense.
occurred to me, I meant to bring it up when we were talking about Chris Sims' list, about Brady. Are we mad at him?
Chris
A
Sims?
little.
Now,
Brady?
if this story is true,
Oh.
They
the-
did
the
try
Mike
to debunk
McDonald-
it.
What?
I did see a report that said it was not Brady.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
What
whose
else is he
report
gonna
was
say
that?
though?
I forget.
Who
I'll find it.
who
The
reported
coach
that?
came. Who's I forget his name now, but the person that was being interviewed that said, oh, somebody told me this. I was getting help from somebody. Said that it was not Brady in a secondary interview.
Oh really?
People were wondering if it was
So it could
Gerard.
be covering it up.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I'm
oh,
saying, what
Yeah,
else is he
of
gonna
course.
say?
You can never.
Because the way he described it is someone who has a conflict of interest with the Patriots.
Zach Gelb.
Yeah.
So, everybody immediately, naturally thought it was Brady.
It's strange.
I hope it wasn't.
No,
I hope it wasn't.
I start with what could anyone possibly tell Mike McDonald that they don't know, unless you're on the inside and you know what their game plan is going to be. I don't think anyone can look at, the Josh McDaniels offense, this is what you should do. And that,
Well, the question
Yeah.
is, who does
With
Mike
the brand
McDonald,
new coaching staff.
who with the Patriots connection, does Mike McDonald feel comfortable calling about that?
Right.
Does he have a connection to Cam Newton?
not
all?
that I know of. No,
No?
I don't
Okay.
think so. I mean, he was at the Ravens. I mean, he was with Mike Smith, who's a Patriot. I mean, like that would be what it would take for me. And obviously, Mike Smith's not going to give him information in this Super Bowl.
He is a Massachusetts guy.
Yeah.
He's from Situate.
Mickey Mac. Yeah.
Bill O'Brien?
Maybe he has
Like,
connections
what is
from.
he going to tell him? Unless it was somebody, I get it. If there was an actual person
No.
in the building who knew the game plan.
And I feel like
but I heard this,
Vrabel
like,
and
what could
Bill
they,
O'Brien are kind of tight.
Yeah, what could they possibly say about Josh McDaniels?
What player got cut?
But they can't, if this person really does know McDaniels, he knows tendencies. And that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for the playbook.
Yeah.
They don't have that. But, he likes to do this when this is going on.
Yeah.
Or he likes to.
But see, I don't think that's going to give away the secret sauce of the
No,
Super Bowl
no,
game plan
no.
or flip the. I think Seattle was the better team that day. They played like the better team. They had the better plan. They adjusted better. They did everything better that day. I don't really, no matter what information they had pregame, I don't really put a lot of weight on it. But the more interesting thing to me has just been the evolution of Tom Brady as into TB12 and his relationship with Patriots Nation, and how it always seems to get drummed up if he's not giving us our due, or and my view is that TB12 June 12th night that we did when he went into the Hall of Fame, that was like the pinnacle. And I said goodbye to that version of Tom Brady, and now we share him with the Raiders, we share him with the rest of the NFL, and anything he does isn't going to really change that opinion of him. But it's funny, it's constantly happening.
Ever since that no dog in the fight comment.
No dog in the fight.
That broke my heart.
Yeah.
That broke my heart.
Don't say that.
It
I know,
hurts. It hurts a little bit.
Hurts.
It hurts a little bit.
It's just.
Matt Morrell, somebody sent us a PP in the Deuce song.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you want to listen to it first. I don't want to play it.
Oh, he already did.
I already previewed it.
Is it okay?
It's the first
Suitable
part's
for
funny.
children?
I'm not gonna lie, but it's very AI. You know.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
Play the song.
Let's hear it. It's from Michael.
PP and the Deuce. The show is on. The gang is down to 2. PP and the Deuce. The boss man's gone. I'll rang it down to a 2. They'll make fun of Headache and how Fred eats his food. They'll talk about Jaws and the days they were both in school. It's Patriots Unfiltered. I've been blessed. There is David and the Dogs today.
Okay.
A little pop punk.
Not bad. It's Green Day. Yeah.
I was thinking Blink
The problem
182.
with parody music
Yeah.
is when you use AI, it makes a good song. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like
Okay.
a good song that
Well,
you're bopping to. You know.
Yeah.
It depends who wrote the lyrics, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still make the
I
lyrics
needed
funny
more like
and have
toilet
AI.
references because that's the whole point of PP and the
Yeah.
Deuce.
Right.
You need some toilet flushes. in
Talk
there
about
somewhere.
poop.
I was
Right.
getting
I didn't write it.
waste your time on me. You know, you get the Blink 182 thing going.
Okay.
I was going to join in, but then I was like, we're going to get a
You
text
pinch
about
out the ear,
licensing. Like when we were harmonizing earlier with Dream On.
yeah, right.
George is commenting on kind of everything we've talked about so far.
Okay.
When Deuce started off with talking about flying a kite for fun, I thought to myself, geez, it's going to be this type of show. But then my mind went back to me flying kites at the annual kite festival years ago at Franklin Park Zoo in Boston. Not sure if it still happens. I've been in Maryland since 94. I'm 52 now, and I haven't flown a kite since I was 10.
There you go.
Deuce, I owe you an apology. And Fred, Bryan College was great for me. The interaction with the players was much more intimate. Bruce Armstrong gave me and my mother a ride to our car that was about 10 spots down just because he saw how excited I was. Thank you for taking me down memory lane. Also, how can I get a T-shirt or some swag? So he wants stuff.
Yeah, send a picture of you flying a kite.
Yeah. So good. And as far as the Red Sox, don't set yourself up, Fred. I'm not drinking the Red Sox Kool-Aid. I don't want my heart broken. It won't be. My heart won't be broken. I just want summer entertainment.
Yeah,
That's
right,
all.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's kind of like somewhat how I felt, or I told myself I felt during like 2022 and 2023, where it's like, can you just be competitive and good? And they weren't. And that was kind of the bar last year for me of like, just be the best of the bad, and they were the best of the bad. But I hear what you're saying, Fred. And a lot of people said that, like, you just want to watch a good team. You want to have a little bit of hope. You don't want to feel like every game is just another tick closer to the end of the season.
Yep. Travis in West Virginia about tennis. Yeah, Wimbledon just ended. Sinner.
Yes.
Back to back. And was it Makova won for the women?
My mom was watching it.
You're asking us?
Somebody over.
Yeah.
But Travis says, like you, Fred, I love all the ceremony and tradition associated with the sport of tennis. However, the one tradition I find incredibly dumb is when the players climb into the audience to embrace their team. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's so stupid. Just, you can wait. You don't have to do that. I forget who did it first. It was one of the women. I think it might have been Sharapova. But ever since then, everybody's got to do it. And they're climbing over people, and it's really
They're sweaty.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then he says, are there athletes or celebrities that the media fawn all over, but you guys don't see what all the fuss is about? For me, the person is Coco Gauff.
Oh.
Yeah.
You like her. Sorry, I was about to say Noah Kahan.
That's fine.
Wait,
He said
thought-
celebrities. Yeah.
what is it for you?
I heard
For me, I like him. I love folkiness.
Yeah.
There's something about his songwriting that's
Yeah.
half there for me, and the other half, there's some lyrics. I'm like,
He sounds like every other recent country artist out there to me.
he's not even country though. It's like indie folk.
That's what
like,
they're just trying to name it something different, but that's what it all sounds
I
like.
caught a clip of Megan Ottolini on WEI, and I thought she nailed it. And she's like, I mean, it's nice, but like, he feels like a dime a dozen guy, and I don't quite get why.
It's 'cause he
everyone's
sings
so
about New
obsessed.
England.
And he just sings
It's
about
'cause
New
he
England.
sings about New
And that
England.
kind of goes back to, I think, that people who grew up around here, like the second you say Boston in a song or something, like everyone's, oh, you take possession of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He reminds me. My sister had this friend in high school growing up. She's a long time, and he was always trying to be that guy. Like had an acoustic guitar and long hair, and he's got emotional, kind of touchy-feely songs. And I'm like, he could be Noah Kahan. He could be Noah Kahan to me. But the guy, what, four sold out nights
at Fenway.
That's
What's
crazy
more
to me.
impressive is he hit a hole in one yesterday
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
It's all coming up Noah Kahan. I guess.
at one of the Boston courses.
Okay.
That's a big golf guy now.
I went to the show last year at Fenway. It was awesome. It was so much fun. It's honestly
singing along.
Aside from the Eras tour, it's one of the only shows I've ever been to where everyone around me knew every single word to every song. That's testament to him. But just like, there's something about him that it's like 70% of the way there for me, and it just comes down to like some of his lyrics I think are kind of dumb, and he'll have a great theme for a song, and it'll be like this great New England imagery, but then there'll be one line where it's like, Doc told me to travel, but there's COVID on a plane.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I hate that
yeah.
lyric. It makes the song not timeless because it's COVID. I don't know. There's something
It's
about
funny,
it.
the way you looked at me when I said that, I was like, uh-oh, Alex is going to she's in
No.
the Kahan army.
I thought I was in the
She's gonna
minority
get-
here
I would
because
love to
everyone
hear-
loves him.
I know. I just,
And I like
don't,
him,
and I don't dislike
But it's just
him.
not like,
He's not Taylor Swift, but, and that was, around here, he's kind of treated like that.
But he's a recent phenomenon,
Yeah,
right?
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like it's a great story because he went out and tried to make it as an artist in whether it was Nashville or LA, I kind of forget. It didn't work out, and he like came home with his tail between his legs. But it was in Vermont at home that he became famous off of TikTok, you know.
was singing
So
about
I can
trees.
appreciate that. Like you don't always need to move away from home to make it, but there's just I don't know.
I don't have,
The writing is all comes down to writing for me always.
Yeah.
Movies, songs, shows.
Writing is
It's
important.
got to be.
Yeah.
Writing and
Locked.
lighting.
But we are, like, don't you think, though, like, Dirty Water and, shipping up to Boston, and, like, it's pretty much any song with Boston or a reference
yeah.
to Boston into it, Boston people and New
Embrace
England
it.
We're
are
so
like,
insecure.
This is
We
ours.
are.
We're
Like,
so insecure.
We are.
Right.
Yeah.
We know we're the best, but no one else knows it. And we'll show you.
Right.
Like,
Territorial, not insecure. Territorial.
Well, that
it's
too.
a little insecurity too, though. I think like
Yeah.
Like when people say bad things about us, it's like, oh,
I know. Brady's
It's
not
like,
nine.
Yeah.
we can't let it go,
Right.
And that's what insecurity is. If you're secure in yourself, you don't care.
yeah. Even when it's the stuff we complain about too, we can complain, but you can't.
But and I argue with Paul about this and Andy back in the day. I get it when it comes to the Patriots because we did suck for so long, and when we were good, we get knocked down and really quickly. So we never really had that time, and finally, when we were good, people were trying to knock us down. And I get it, defending the wall. I get that. Paul hates that because he hates fans, and he doesn't like to put himself out there for anything where he becomes vulnerable.
Yeah.
And part of being a true fan, a fanatic, is you have to be willing to be vulnerable because you're going to get your heart broken sometimes.
Right.
And it's not always going to go your way.
Yeah.
And when you do lose, you're going to get made fun of, but you got to be okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, the Brady stuff, ultimately, it's like, as a fan, I got to watch this guy lead my team to 6 Super Bowl championships. It was like the best possible fan experience you can ever have. And it wasn't going to like last forever because it's a sport. But, that's always what I felt about. Like at Brady's 9th, yeah, great. I watched 6 Super Bowls and got to like feel what it's like to watch your team overcome incredible stuff.
And, part of the reason I think the league turns a blind eye to Brady owning a team and being a broadcaster and doing all this stuff that conflicts with everything else is payback for Deflategate. They wronged him.
Mm-hmm.
The league called him a cheat and a liar. And he didn't do what they said he did. Let's put it that way. And he'll never forgive them for that fully.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the league realizes that they kind of made a big thing out of that they shouldn't have. And now they're letting him do whatever the hell he wants.
Ugh.
That's just my theory.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I understand why. I mean, that was, remember in the West Coast, because the game ended and then all, like, it's great, back to another Super Bowl. And all of a sudden I was like, what, bro?
And when I heard it, that this is after the Colts game, I heard it the next day. I laughed at it. I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And then it just got bigger and bigger. And, I think the timing, because now you're in the 2-week span before the Super Bowl. And so, like, it was like, if it was true, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Did you notice like a change in 07? I always felt that was when you, and I mean, this is the first thing I ever wrote, was like you kind of went from being Luke Skywalker in Super Bowl 36 of like the underdog and everyone, and your Patriots, to, now you're Darth Vader in 07. And like, from your experience doing these shows daily, were the fans and the calls, like, did that reflect that kind of transition from going to the underdogs to now you're the bad guy?
It went from, what are they doing? Why are they saying this about us? To screw them.
Yeah.
It's New England versus everybody. Embrace the hate.
Yeah.
And defend the wall, that whole thing. That's where that all came from. It's like the realization that they're never going to love us. They're never going to give us our respect.
Yeah.
Even though, as Paul would say, well, you're favorite in every game. That's not the respect that people were looking for. Not from Vegas. They're looking for the respect from other fan bases, which you're never going to get.
Yeah.
You're never going to get. Why should they?
Yeah.
Part of the fun is hating the Chiefs when they got good, and trying to figure out and say things about them that, will knock them off their pedestal. So that's, again, part of being fans.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's even beyond fandom. I think it's human nature too. Like the universe loves a 5. You can build up a 1 up to a 5, and you can tear down a 10 to a 5.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the world works.
I mean, think about parents in sports, and I want to read this email in a second. But when you're a parent of your kid who plays youth sports, and your kid's he doesn't stink, or her, like, they're competitive, you're constantly comparing your kid against the other kids. Whether you like it or not, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And not that you're wishing ill on the other kids, but you're hoping your kid rises up. And, when another kid might take your kid's position on the team, you're hoping that something will happen, that your kid gets that position back.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just natural.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I'm trying to divide out. I think it's naturally human nature to, somebody's been good long enough, okay, we're sick of you.
Right.
Versus, you're bad guys now.
Yeah.
Like there's just, there was a
Well,
little
it
bit of
didn't help having Belichick as your head coach.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because he embodied,
who was Darth Vader, Brady or Bill?
Right. But that was the vibe then from 07 that carried them through the end of the tenure. That was just how they kind of looked at everything. And I think that was part of what was fun last year about that run, was like there wasn't anything attached to that. It was just this new group coming together and, winning games and capturing lightning in a bottle, which was really cool. I just thought that was always the hardest thing to do, and it was remarkable how those teams were able to continually catch lightning in a bottle and be really good. That's what's so interesting to me now is, can this team capture lightning in a bottle again? Is Vrabel going to push the right buttons again to, bring all these guys together? And I think every time I watch him on the field, I'm like, this is a guy I would want to play for. I think modern athletes want to play for this kind of guy. He's not going to get all nerdy on you and X's and all that stuff. I mean, he knows that stuff, but he's going to be about, we're going to be the toughest SOBs out here, and I'm going to make sure that you guys are that way.
He's figured out how to keep things loose while keeping people on their toes.
Yeah.
If you play for him, if you say something stupid or you're going to get called out. You're going to get called out, but at the same time, he keeps it like, we're all in this together.
He's just really, he's always been a likable guy. And I know, Paul's got some great stories about Vrabel, knowing what kind of guy he is and embracing that. But it just, I find him really likable, and I think that he can do it again. I think he's a really good coach, and that's what I love. I love coaching. I love everybody who does it differently. And, having one of my favorite players now be the coach and, getting similar kind of performances like the ones that he used to turn in and week out, and, making big plays in big moments. Like, we saw Milton Williams last year, sealing the Miami game, or, big sacks on Justin Herbert, closing that one out. Those were the plays that Mike Vrabel made as a player. And you see now his players kind of taking on that personality. I think it's been really fun. I'm excited for year 2.
And that's why, us doing Forge, not that I have anything to do with it, but just seeing him coach in his first year and all that behind the scenes stuff, you can kind of tell that's the way he is from the product on the field, but when you actually get to see him hyping the guys up, it's just so awesome.
Yeah. It's good stuff. And by the way, this Friday, next episode of Forge in Foxborough, So be
I'm
by your
excited.
computers.
Clip got me fired up.
Yeah. Going back to youth sports a little bit, Brendan in Edmonton writes in, seeing as the panel represents the sports of soccer, lacrosse, tennis, and hockey, which sports have the worst behavior parents on the sideline or just to deal with? I know, Deuce, it's easy for you to say hockey.
dads.
Hockey
Shoot
parents
the
can be bad.
puck.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of the dads, and I see this kind of dads pop up more and more. And it's often like dads who played, competitive sports
Yeah.
beyond high school. They kind of stand by themselves and watch the kids'
Yes.
game, and they don't say anything. And
That was
that's
my dad.
And
Thank
that's
God.
me. I've also learned that I don't really try to talk to my son about games afterwards. I kind of let it simmer, and and then later, hey, this is what I noticed. But hockey's bad. I mean, all sports are bad. Lacrosse. My sister's
They
terrible.
can all be bad.
My sister's
Yeah.
a lacrosse parent who probably, she is screaming. I'm like, what are you doing right now? Like, I don't talk at all. I go to see my nephew's lacrosse games, and she's like, screaming at the refs.
And it's also not even necessarily sport by sport. I found this working for Mass Live earlier in my career, like working the high school sports desk. Coaches are coming in to report their scores. Sometimes it's a parent, but it's usually the parents with the least amount of athletic experience are the loudest and most annoying. And then also, like the towns that are really socioeconomically well off
Yeah.
also have the most annoying parents.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Because they're
just
privileged.
The world revolves around
Yes,
them
it's
and
all
their
privilege
child.
and entitlement.
It's
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call out any specific towns, but there's a couple that I'm just like,
No,
if I
I-
never have to deal with those people again, I'll be so happy.
I mean, I had a couple conversations with people I know this weekend, and we've talked about it a ton here, just the state of youth sports and, how hard it is, and towns, combining to make teams. And it's just disappointing. It was simple and was really fun growing up, and now it just
Yeah.
seems really complicated, and there's a lot of money involved, and it's just the demands on the time. I mean, going back to my sister, she like driving off Cape Saturday morning for a Rhode Island lacrosse team, coming back, drive off Cape Sunday morning to go to a lacrosse game in Rhode Island. That kind of intensity. It's just, and the kid's like on the C team, like
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere. Like, he's just playing for fun, and your whole weekend is consumed.
What I
cashing
noticed
that
though
check.
that once you get to the higher levels, like if you're playing on those club teams that we talked about, parents start to behave a little bit more because there's more at stake, and they don't want to be that woman or man to screw it up for their kid.
Yeah.
Because there's recruiters there and everything, and
Yeah.
so you shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You don't even like approach the colleges that are there. Like, oh, look at my kid.
Oh
like
my
some
God.
might, some
Oh.
might,
Imagine.
some might, but you don't do that.
No.
You don't do that because that's now you're hurting your own kid.
Yeah.
If you do that.
Yeah.
My kid's an orphan. I don't exist. Anything to better their chances.
Yeah.
Oh my
What I
gosh.
would always tell my kid is wear something identifiable, like
Yeah.
an orange shirt underneath or something like
that's
that.
like
So
the
when you
kid
do
with the orange
something, they
stripe.
go, oh, that's the kid with the orange.
you're
The
telling-
best at those things
You got to
is
tell
when,
your son to peacock a little bit. You got to peacock
yeah,
out
a
there a
little
little
bit.
bit.
when
you
you're
know?
playing in like a tryout or a tournament like that, and the coach is like, "Hey kid, what's your name?" You're like, "Yes."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's how you know.
Or,
They ask your name.
I had one at a hockey camp where they were like, the head counselor was a kid at BC hockey, and he's like, "You come out here, you demonstrate the drill with me. Come on, I want to go one-on-one with you." And I'm like,
Yep.
"Oh, all right," like then
Yeah.
they see that you can play a little
Peacock
bit.
feathers are out.
But no, that was always fun when you were validated as a player growing up, or you started to get recruiting letters,
Yeah.
or remember one game I talked about plenty with going against Tabor. My coach came and said, "That's the best game you've ever played in your life." Like those moments when you start to get that validation of like, no, I might be okay, making teams and all that. That was so fun.
Yeah, I was asked not to play sports.
As a wrestler or no? Team
No,
sports?
I walked on as a wrestler. It was a club team. It
Yeah.
wasn't even like
It's me in basketball.
I could have been a good wrestler if
Yeah.
I had dedicated myself.
Don't you wish ever that you could to have the sports brain you have now?
Oh.
To go back to your high school
Well,
body.
that's what Larry
like,
Bird said.
Oh, I would do
He said the
anything.
tragedy of sports is just when you're becoming
Yeah.
mentally the smartest about your sport, your physical starts to break down.
Yeah. Well, I went back. I had all my like old hockey games, and at one point I watched all of them. Like kind of watched my career in order. Not every game, but just kind of went through it. And it goes back to that, like the inner game of tennis, where a big part of that is like watching yourself uncritically and just being like, what do I need to do better? And as you watch it as an adult, and it was like, Mike, what the hell are you doing out there? Like, dude, you can skate to, like you can go attack that guy, like,
Yeah.
And having that mindset now where it's like, shoot, if, my dad's telling me X, Y, Z, and if I had heard Z or,
God.
ABC, like I might have gotten it.
Well,
I
that
might have been even
yeah.
better.
That was the thing about football for me. Like at youth football, no one coached me.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was
know.
doing.
I
and I just think,
Yeah.
like now, if I
The kids
knew
now
then,
with the YouTube and
Yep.
resources
right.
and
If I-
the athlete camps they do.
if I knew then what I know now
know.
about how to play football,
Literally.
Oh my
I
God,
could have been
Fred.
so much better.
Great point. Like because I played linebacker as a freshman, middle linebacker, and like I didn't understand the concept of like reading the play. Like I'm just like, where's the ball going to go? And that, like reading what they're doing, trying to get beat the tackles, like all these things that I know now from watching so much football. It's like, I like just no coaching, like, and I remember like one of the seniors coming up to me during one of the freshman games and like essentially like telling me, when the guard comes out and he tries to block you this way, the ball's going that way,
Yeah.
those kind of things, which seem so fundamental. But I remember being like, oh, right. Rather like,
I'll
bad
never
coaching.
forget. This is, I don't know what grade I was in. It's grade school. I mean, this is youth football. It's even before Pop Warner, but it's tackle. And I was on this team. They didn't really know I could play a lot of positions. They were moving me around. And in the middle of the game, he said, put him at middle linebacker. And the other team had this kid named Jamie Kirk. And Jamie Kirk was a freaking fire hydrant. So they hand the ball off to him. And I'm standing at middle linebacker, and no one taught me, go downhill, meet him.
You're on the train tracks.
I'm just standing there, and he runs me over. Like, literally runs me over. Penalty, holding. So, so it wasn't a touchdown. Like, he ran me over and scored. So, line up again, exact same play, exact same result. He runs me over again. Second play in a row. And it's just like, I think back then, if somebody had just told me, no, you have to go get him.
Right.
Yeah.
No, same thing. That's the same exact
recognize the play and go downhill, and at least you've got a fighting chance because it's your force against his. I still probably wouldn't have been, because like this kid was a load. I'll never forget, Jamie Kirk was his name. 2 plays in a row, I just got
run over.
trucked.
It's the same thing, Fred. I look at like the footage. I'm gonna stand up for stuff. Like this is like me playing little linebacker. It's like the snap, and I'm like, what do I do?
Right.
What do I do?
What do I do?
Getting blocked.
What do I do? No one told me.
Right. No one
Like,
told
just
me.
tell me.
Right. And they're like, you're supposed to chase the ball and go get it. I'm like, I know, but like, how do you like read plays? Say,
Yeah.
And even, watching stuff now where, you look at formations and, you start to break down. All right, well, what is this probably telling you? What's probably coming? Like all the things that a Robert Spillane is like cycling through his head so that when they snap the ball, he's probably got a pretty good idea what's about to happen. Whereas I was just like, real time, like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then I'm blocked and out of the play.
Oh, I remember taking my son when he started playing, and I didn't know what kind of coaching he was going to get. And I told him, I said, when you go for a tackle, don't just go to wrap up. If he's here, you want to go aim for here.
Hit through him. Yeah.
You want to go through him.
Right.
And like that really resonated with him. Like he got that. And I don't know if kids are getting that instruction.
Yeah.
And I know I didn't.
Right.
Because Jamie Kirk proved it.
Did you tell him when he gets in a fight to punch through the head, like punch like you're punching through?
Oh,
like
absolutely.
Same concept. Don't punch right through it.
Yeah. So, all right. Good stuff. It's 108. And does your game style need some coaching, like some of these youth kids? Get your rec room preseason ready with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop Bob's for football season fan favorites like the feature pack Phantom reclining sofa with super comfy Bobopedic cushions, built-in cup holders, charging ports, and a smooth-moving power recline function for kicking back before kickoff. So stop in or shop online to score big on football season finds with Bob's Discount Furniture, the official furniture store of the New England Patriots. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Come welcome our newest restaurant additions at Patriot Place. Estella brings a celebration of flavors with a modern fusion menu, exciting cocktails, and brunch available daily beginning at 11 a.m. Enjoy freshly brewed coffee and Mediterranean-inspired breakfast and lunch from Angel's Cafe. Craving the classics? Chick-fil-A makes it easy to grab your favorite with mobile through, carry-out, and dine-in options. Download the Patriot Place Advantage app for special offers and to earn rewards every time you visit. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
There's enough needless nonsense in the world already. Your phone plan shouldn't add to it. Verizon's new Simplicity plan cuts down on the nonsense in your life. Now there's just one plan, one price. $30 a line per month, even for a single line. And everyone gets our best 5G network. It's a phone plan designed to do exactly what a phone plan is supposed to do. Isn't that a lot simpler? Switch today at Verizon.com or at your nearest store. For new customers, $30 per line includes auto pay and switch discount. Additional taxes, fees, and terms apply. Unlimited data is restricted to on-device smartphone usage. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Different position groups, different position battles, guys. And we're going to start with the defensive line. A very good place to start. And Ev, let's start with Christian Barmore and Milton Williams, who really, two of the key features of that Patriots defense last year. They're back. Hopefully we can keep Milton Williams healthy. That was the only maybe issue for that group. But when those two guys are out there, they're amongst the most disruptive defensive tackles in the league.
Yeah, I mean, both guys ranking top 20 in pressure rate last year among defensive tackles. Just a really good tandem, and they need them to be a really good tandem. I think we're going to have conversations in the Edge preview about how much juice they're really going to have in the pass rush off the edge. So getting that interior pressure from those two guys is going to be a big part of this team's success and hopefully winning a lot of games. So I thought last year Milton Williams was everything you could have dreamt of and more as a free agent signing. I still feel like the Christian Barmore, the pre-blood clots Christian Barmore is maybe in there to get a little bit more juice out of him too. So it's a really exciting tandem.
Yeah. Paul, it isn't totally the same group, though. Kairos Tonga not back. And I mean, he was I thought really good early this season, especially against Buffalo. Big run stopper. When you saw him go out for a little bit, you saw the effect on the team. They chose not to bring him back. They do have some depth, but that seems like one piece they're going to have to figure out how to replace.
Absolutely. And I do think that's the one question, because there's no reason to expect anything different from Williams and Barmore. As Ev said, a very dynamic tandem in the inside, both in the run and pass game. And I was a little surprised with how well they played against the run too, especially Milton Williams. But there is some question: is there a sort of run specialist, a Tonga type guy to fill in? Corey Durden is one. Does not lack for confidence. Very, he was a very colorful interview earlier in the OTAs, back in the spring. So it's going to be interesting to see, is it Lenny T, right? Lenny Taylor, another guy that's in the mix in there. Big block field goal in the AFC Championship game. There's an opportunity for playing time, and that's what training camp is for. Who ends up earning those kinds of minutes inside next to in instead of the two big guns.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Durden and Taylor, Eric Gregory, another guy that Vrabel's mentioned, and Josh Farmer, who was around last year, seemed to come on a little bit at the end, and then he got hurt, and we didn't see him at the end. But Ev, a couple of things I want to throw at you is just you lost to Buffalo in December, you gave up 168 rushing yards. The loss in the Super Bowl, we know who the MVP was. It was their running back. They gave up 141 rushing yards. How important is this? Because at the top, we feel pretty good about their pass rush, their ability to get off the ball. But is this an area that could be an Achilles heel for this team like it was kind of in the Super Bowl?
Well, I think a lot of those runs in the Super Bowl were off the edges. So I don't know how much I put on those interior guys for losing the edge and letting Kenneth Walker bounce runs outside. But I think that it's a fair question to ask about that wide-bodied, gap eating, space eating, block eating, whatever you want to call him, run stuffer that Tonga was. I'm not sure that Durden is exactly the same kind of player. I think that he's a solid player and a good rotational guy to have, but is he somebody that's going to play straight up over the nose or in the A gap and just eat blocks like a Kairos Tonga was capable of doing. Joshua Farmer to me is another guy that probably a little bit further away from the ball than a traditional nose tackle. Maybe an Eric Gregory, who is a little bit of a wider body. David Bly, who are getting really deep here in the undrafted rookies, is somebody that did that in college. So we'll see if they have that kind of sturdiness in the middle that Tonga was able to give them. But, when you go into those 4 down fronts, it's going to be a lot of Barmore and Williams, obviously. But those base fronts, when they do put 5 guys up on the line of scrimmage in the spring, it was a lot of Durden. Those were their 3-man fronts were, Durden and inside and Williams and Barmore as kind of those typical defensive ends in a 3-4 defense. Is that going to be enough beef? Are they going to have enough of that in the middle? I think is a fair question. And then, obviously the layer behind them too, with Robert Spillane being the one guy that's really you can really count on. So I think that everywhere on this roster, when we go down the defense and these position previews, we're going to be talking about depth. Like, do they have enough depth? Do they have enough of a certain skill set? It's not necessarily do they have enough top end talent, but it's do they have enough to fill in?
Yeah, and real quick, I would just throw into that, the depth part of it. I mean, I'd have to go back and look at every individual game that we're talking about, but for the most part, I thought those run struggles were when Milton Williams was out a little bit. Robert Spillane got nicked up. Certainly Spillane wasn't himself in the Super Bowl even. So I do think that fully healthy, I don't have a huge amount of concern about that being a fatal flaw, to answer your real question, Mike. But I do think that the depth is a concern.
But for training camp, maybe the bottom line for this position group, I'd look at those 4 guys. Maybe Jeremiah Farms to some extent played less last year than he had in the previous year under a different regime. But, again, Durden, Taylor, Gregory, Farmer, they seem to have high hopes for those guys. Can they get enough of a rotation? I mean,
I have my eye on Farmer.
Yeah, I mean, Farmer's that, with that group too. I mean, there's some promising performance, I would say. I mean, Leonard Taylor blocked, a field goal there in the AFC Championship. You saw moments, but overall, if you look at the production itself, it doesn't really give you a ton of confidence behind the top 2 that those guys are ready to jump right in, but maybe they are. We'll see in training camp, though. It should be a great position for battle there down the depth chart a little bit. So that's the defensive line, the training camp preview.
And now, great moments in history.
I know he's a friend of the show, but the pre- and post-game shows have become largely about soothing or feeding Hardy's ego, and he offers little actual information about the team or the game. It's so frustrating. Wow.
We should bring this
That's
up.
That's entirely inaccurate.
Yeah, Hardy. I don't know if Hardy has an ego.
He has the
I think if anything,
ego in this room.
I think if anything, he's got inferior complex.
Yes,
inferiority
I would agree.
Yeah. He's a very busy guy. He's got 98.5. Then he does Sirius. He's got the music show. So
he's got golf.
Yeah,
a lot of golf.
The golf show that he does.
Golf show.
But he gets free stuff for that, so I'm a little jealous.
No,
did you get those clubs?
He took care of
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Custom PXG clubs.
He gave you clubs?
No.
Oh.
He got those. He got free.
Yeah, and I got his leftovers.
Oh, did you?
He said he gave me a set of irons.
Nice. Ooh. What kind?
I don't know. I didn't look at him yet.
Set of irons.
You don't even look at them?
No. We just the other night when we were leaving, he put them in my trunk.
Oh. So you're not even curious to what they are?
No, I'll look at them when I get a chance.
I would want to know what kind of clubs I got.
I got some new clubs. I got to fill
Aren't
them
you
up.
excited? Look at you, so blasé.
I've been working on
new
my
set of
short game
irons.
lately.
Just rolling around in the back of his car.
Right.
They're in a bag, idiot.
I'd want to know, are they Callaways? Are they Pings?
I expect that from him, not you. I expect more out of you.
I'd be excited to get a new set of irons.
Mike, how's your putting?
That's another great moment from
I don't understand. You got a new set of irons. You're not even interested.
He's also a golf
what's the
guy.
brand?
I'll look at them when I get a chance.
Yeah, when I get a chance.
Like if someone was like, "Do you want these?" I'd be like, "What kind are they?"
Yeah.
That's the first question.
Feel them out
Right.
a little bit. Do they need new grips?
Well, I don't even ask. Like if someone says, "Yeah, I'll take them," but then at least you look at the top of the club and they're Callaways. Cool. That was a good comment.
dark, threw 'em in the trunk.
You hit the brake.
We all know what a bunch of loose golf
Oh,
clubs
yeah.
sounds like in your
Right.
trunk lying around.
Even if they're not loose in the bag, they still clang
Right.
together.
That's what the irons.
It's okay. It's a good noise. That means it's probably summer.
Doesn't
You're
sound
driving
like-
around with the clubs
So,
in the
so
trunk
Hardy,
all,
next
all day.
time you're giving away clubs, give them to somebody who will appreciate
Someone
them.
who cares. I wonder how Paul's put those to work though. Like,
I
if they
know.
helped his game get
He
to
said
the next level.
the first time he used them, it was a marked difference.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm due for an upgrade on my beginner set that I've had for like 12 years now. I think I got to hit up
They're
Will.
plastic.
Yeah.
No, they're Callaways.
Oh,
They're actually
yeah.
some nice. I got them never used Callaway ladies clubs on Facebook Marketplace years
Good spot
ago.
for 'em.
And yeah, I'm gonna hit up Paul's son Will because I think he has a discount to the PGA Tour
does.
Superstore.
Oh yeah. He'll hook you up.
So
think that's
I'm
right. I'm gonna get
asking
some
you because
fitted.
you're a woman.
Okay.
Do women need women's clubs? Like, is there that much of a difference?
So I've swung. I swung Brian Hoyer's clubs at the country club when the U.S. Open was here.
Okay, well, he probably has custom clubs.
They're
for his
so
guys'
long.
size. Right.
They're
Yeah,
long.
right.
It felt
Right.
heavier. It was so.
Well, of course, I'm
Yeah.
just talking about off the rack.
I wouldn't know because I've never really played
Yeah.
with anything else. When I learned to play, I would use
Yeah.
the rentals at the country club I worked at, the women's rentals. So it's all I know.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they're lighter.
Yeah.
Lighter,
it's got more
the
bend to it.
length. Mine are pretty. They're white, black and white.
Right. They're a little
The
prettier,
bag's pretty.
Usually. Nicer design.
I actually bought a 56 loft and it was a ladies flex by accident. So I've been using the ladies flex and I haven't
Have you noticed a difference?
Not really, but it bends a lot more when you carry
Okay,
it.
but
That's good.
Yeah.
Forgiving.
Get more pop off it.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know. But Boston Cream has a really important question.
Yeah.
When attending a sports event, regardless of sport, what's the ideal beers per 60 minutes? He says 3.
All right. Well, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, my always philosophy.
How big are the beers?
My philosophy was get after it in pregame, and then into the first quarter, the first part, and then I taper off, and then I kind of go to water. You know, like because I don't want to. I want to remember the end of the game.
Yeah.
So that was always kind of my rule. But I think 3-4 is probably in the.
Go hard in the
per
parking
60?
lot.
Yeah, I could do. 3
I think
or
for
4.
me, 3-4 for the game.
Oh yeah. Well,
During
that's
the
what I mean.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
are you intaking pregame though?
So
man.
my-
'Cause I, like,
so my interpretation
bring your
is
Tito's
60
handle,
minutes. Like if you're at
Rip
the
it in the parking lot.
if you're at a football game, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
So if it's per 60, then and he's doing 3, that's 9
Oh,
for the
all right.
time.
I got
So
you. I got
don't.
you.
But maybe he's right. Maybe it's the whole game.
I would
3.
say for
I
me,
don't-
I'm like 3 or 4 pregame. You know, I get there pregame, and then I get in the stadium. I maybe buy 1. Like you know, that's usually
That's my goal. Buy as
cadence.
few as possible in the game.
But I've talked about that
Catch up with
2014
water.
Patriots Chargers game that I went to, which was famous for like the crazy Patriot fans there. And I talked about the guys. There were 2 guys sitting next to me, like they were there. It was like it was a bar. There wasn't a football game going
Yeah.
on. They were just there. Like it's still like fourth quarter. They're like, I got more. Coming back. I'm like, you guys watching this? Like, this is a good
I've
game.
Have you
never-
ever been
I've-
to a game that you don't remember?
No, I've never been to a game where I even got drunk.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm there for the game.
Yeah.
You know,
My only exception is I don't even think I was 21 yet. But my best friend Emma, that's a Jets season ticket holder. It was just
Oh,
so.
well, Jets game. There
She
you
took
go.
me to
boom.
MetLife,
That's
and it was
self-medication.
it was early December, and I was just getting harassed the whole game in my Brady jersey. I wore a Brady jersey, guys.
there
You
you
know,
go.
that was before I formed my opinions.
Brady, that's a
Yeah.
terrible.
But
He's
like,
the 9th best
they're-
quarterback.
the only way to sit through that game with how cold it was to just drink.
Yeah.
I'm
you know.
surprised they don't just shoot up morphine during the game because I mean, how are you a Jets game?
Just pump it
That's
into the
true.
stadium.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, let's go to the phones. They're stacked up. Kevin's in North Carolina. What's up, Kevin?
North Carolina.
Kevin. All right, Kevin. Going once, twice, you're gone. How about Chad in Dallas? What's up, Chad? Chad in Dallas. Is that really low? He's not there? Okay.
No, he's not there.
All right. He was only on for 40 minutes.
Come
All
on,
right. Uh-oh. Christian in L.A. What's up, Christian?
Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Hey, so happy summer to you guys. I know it's the doldrums and football gets sort of difficult to talk about because there's not much going on. But to me, this notion of Aaron Donald joining the Rams and taking pictures with them seems to me like they're doing one of these setups for the quote-unquote super team or dream teams, which, again, feels like inevitably they probably won't even make the playoffs. Like the last super team or dream team that came together and didn't make the playoffs. You know, the Eagles won with Vince Young, I believe. Do you guys believe this whole notion of like the dream team or super team thing? And why can't they seem to make a playoff game when you gather that much talent?
Right, because it's not about the best 55, 53. It's the right 53, as we know. No, it's a good question. I remember the Eagles, like you said, had that
With Vince Young
Yeah,
at quarterback?
yep, Vince Young. They had that dream team, and they didn't get there.
Who were the other dreamers on that team?
I think what it tells you, or what it tells me, is that in the NFL, it's tough to win football games. Yeah. You need a lot of things to fall your way to go all the way.
Yeah.
And you can have the best players, but it doesn't always work out. Injuries happen, stupid plays, penalties, fumbles, turnovers, and it can derail, a game, let alone your season. So there's no guarantee once you spend all that money and get all those players that you're gonna go all the way.
Especially with Matthew Stafford and his age and what could be injuries.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated to see it. We talk so much about talent and how much talent takes you to that next level, how much coaching, how much the power of friendship, the kind of the balance of those things. But I think to me that the Achilles heel is Stafford. But otherwise they are crazy talented. I'd say. I don't really qualify that to that what was it, 2011 Eagles team? Like, they said it, but I think the Patriots 07 team was the closest, but they didn't have this. Like, even with as good as, their defense was a little older. They didn't have an elite player like Myles Garrett is, or, Trent McDuffie, or everything that they've done in the offseason.
And how far removed is Aaron Donald from playing?
He's like 2-3 years. Did he go after they won the Super Bowl in 21? So,
So 5 years.
I'll be all for it. I'd love to see him come back. Why not? He's putting videos up of him working out all the time. Like, if you're gonna go for it, then just go for it. Like, good story in sports. Have some old guy come back.
But I don't think he's gonna be as good. I don't.
How do you after that time away?
Yeah,
third down pass rusher kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
But he looks like he's still in great shape. He's a really
he was dominant.
Yeah,
he was
come back.
He was
try to win another
amazing.
Super Bowl, but
talk about just the prototypical rushing lineman.
Oh yeah, I know. Not big too, because I go back, even remember him coming out in the draft, and just didn't have the height, but he had the strength and he had the speed.
Yep. Eldred's in North Carolina. What's up, Eldred?
Hey, Alex. Hey, Fred. Hey, Mike. How y'all doing?
Hey, Eldred. Thanks for asking.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, but I was gonna get off a little of the football with the Celtic talk. I couldn't get in last week with y'all when y'all was on there about Brown. I think it was a dumb move, and he did have a market. Charlotte was gonna make the trade for him. They wanted Bridges, Ball, and three first round picks, and they decided not to go otherwise. And there was another team too, but I think that's messed up when you got a 36-year-old and a 39-year-old, and your team is getting a little older. I think that was the dumbest move.
So what would the Celtics have gotten from Charlotte?
They would have got Bridges, Carmelo Ball,
Lonzo.
and they wanted Charlotte 3 first round.
Oh, I see. That's what they wanted.
Pick.
Yeah,
and they didn't want it. They said no, that's too much. Plus, pay him that $60 million or whatever. That was too much. What my buddies told me that I'm like, man, he ain't going to no compound Charlotte. But they did make a move for him because they came up in the Charlotte Observer. That's how I read about it.
Okay.
But they turned it down, and they still got rid of the 2 guys though, but not for what they would have got for Brown. But I think we're going to think this year. That's what I think. But I might be wrong.
When you say we, you mean the Celtics?
Celtics, yes. I'm a Celtic fan, too.
So you don't have faith in Tatum?
Tatum, I'm like this. You got to have a Robin. You had a Robin. You had Batman. I don't see another Robin on the
Okay,
squad.
but the Celtics were good last year, and they didn't have Tatum.
Yeah, but they had Robin.
Right. But now they have the Batman. So shouldn't they be at least as good as they were last year?
I don't know. I'm still gonna say no.
Okay, no. Listen.
I didn't want the 2 Jays to split up.
Yeah,
No,
I hear that, but now you're
replacing
Brown with Tatum from last year's team.
Okay, who go take Brown's spot? I don't think
Tatum,
the guy we got. Okay, Tatum gonna take Brown's spot. Like I said, who gonna take Batman's spot then? If Tatum is Batman, who's gonna be Robin?
Well,
that's my
but my point is, couldn't you say the same thing last year? Tatum's out, so who's going to take his spot? Jaylen Brown did. Who's going to take Jaylen Brown's spot? Well, nobody necessarily, but other guys stepped up. I think the team is similar to what it was last year, except it's Jason Tatum instead of Jaylen Brown. Now, is that good enough to go all the way? Probably not. But record-wise, in the regular season, they should be as good as they were last year, I think.
And I don't know if they're trying to win next year at this point. I think they're kind of looking to the future of who are the next young
that's what
kids
they said
we
last
can
year.
draft and put next to Tatum.
That's what they said last year. Oh,
Yeah,
they're
they
not going to
probably-
try to win this year. It's a bridge year. And then they ended up being pretty good.
Would they have resources to go find another star player on the market?
Depends if they want to go over the
Well, listen,
the luxury.
Thanks,
cap.
Eldred. Listen, I disagreed with a lot of people, when Chisholm and Brad Stevens had that press conference.
Bill Chisholm, not Efton.
Efton Chisholm's
Yeah.
private
Just,
equity portfolio.
I actually, as a Patriots fan, I was kind of encouraged by what I heard Chisholm say. Like he laid it on the line unequivocally and said, "I'm going to spend the money when the opportunity." There's no way for me to prove that unless I do it. So watch what I do, not what I say. In other words, and so like I said, it was unequivocal in how he said it. So as a fan, I'm like, okay, you said it. Now put your money where your mouth is. And so I'm encouraged that he was willing to go out there and say that.
Yeah.
Now whether he does it or not, I don't know, but I think he does. Listen, and that's the other thing. Not to get off on a Celtics tangent or basketball tangent, but this kind of goes for everything, especially Paul's shows. Everybody is quick to say, "Oh, these new owners, these private equity people, all they do is tear it down and maximize the profit." Okay, show me the example other than a really small market team in any sport where a private equity person comes in, tears it down just to make profit. These guys, they know business. Now they know also how to make a profit, but they also know, just because they're smart people, that there's no better thing for business than being competitive. And winning championships, or at least competing for championships every year. So if you want to maximize the asset that you just bought, get good.
Yeah.
Get good. Don't tear it down and maximize the profit. That's what, what's his name? The Red Sox owner.
John Henry.
John Henry did when he first bought the Red Sox. He immediately built them up and won 4 World Series, the first time in 86 years. You don't think that helped his bottom line? By spending that money, they know. So like this, I think it's kind of a myth that all these private equity people tear it down and just go for the profit. I think in small markets, that's somewhat the case because they know they really can't compete.
Sports are different than other industries too.
and they bought in
It's
the
not like
small,
you're buying up a dental office.
in the small market, you buy
Which is
it
happening everywhere.
to try to keep the profits going, and maybe you hit lightning every once in a while. But when you're a mid to large market, there's no better thing for your bottom line than to get good.
Yeah.
And these guys know that. So I think it's kind of a myth that, private equity equals tear down your team.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Well, the hard part is how do you get the wins, and there's so many different ways. That's what we spend most of our time trying to talk about, especially in recent years, is how do you get the wins? How do you find the right people to pick the right players, then to develop the players? And, is there an element of patience too? Like that's, a question for me of when it's not going well, do they have the ability to hold the line and say, we believe in the system and it's going to go? I mean, I think that's a little bit what the Red Sox are doing, right? Like went through some turbulent times, but they are saying they believe in what they're trying to do, the style of baseball they're trying to play, the players that they're trying to get. But at some point, if it doesn't translate, what happens now? How do you get there? And I mean, that's no matter who owns the team or not, that's a challenge. I mean, with the Jacobs family and the Bruins, I remember this in the 80s talking about how they wouldn't spend on players. I mean, this has always been a thing. With ownerships,
but they weren't like private equity people,
right?
You know what I mean? I'm talking about this new, belief that all these new owners, that's all they're doing. And
is the bottom line of it though that you're saying these guys don't want to pay players? They would rather try to maximize and then get out at high points and reset. You know what I mean? It's. I think that's what the concern is. At least going back to the Bruins, it's like they're not going to pay the stars, and that's what I think.
But that's a kind of a philosophy thing. But still, the objective is to win and compete for championships. It's just a different style.
Yeah.
But there's this, like I said, there's this belief that they just tear it down and they don't care about winning. It's just making money.
Right.
If you care about making money, win. That's my point.
But the fans are going to say, you could win with Mookie Betts. Like you could win, like you had the answer in-house if you just were willing to pay that person at this point.
Yeah.
And that's, where it gets hard because we talk about who
I think
you
the
pay,
problem
who do you
with
not pay.
John Henry is that he won 4 times.
Yeah.
Kind of sat back and started investing in other things like Liverpool and the
Mm-hmm.
Penguins and, racing and all this stuff, and kind of got spread out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so
He also benefits from having such a historic venue that there are always going to be butts in the seats at Fenway
Yes.
Park just because it's Fenway Park,
I think too, there's just a basis for fans that they get attached to players and they want to root for those players and they want to stick with those players through their career. And when you look at it through the cold eye of, financials and how are we going to set up our system and stuff, sometimes that doesn't matter at all. And, there are so many times when, Bruins players or, recent times in, the Red Sox with Mookie and that kind of thing. And now Jaylen Brown, I think that's an easy way to point as a fan where you say, they just traded one of my favorite guys. I love watching Jaylen Brown play. It was really the Jays are no more, that feeling, even though I'm sure there's a side on the equity of it all being like, well, we felt like his performance maxed out at this point. There's all these
That's the thing. It's like, do they feel like they got the absolute best out of Jaylen Brown? And honestly, they really might have.
Yeah.
I think it comes
Did
down
they get
to
out at the high point?
Well,
it comes down to the player. Like he's due for an extension soon too. It's like, do they want to be the one playing it if they
Forking
think
that
they
over.
already got the best out of him? And how many years were the Jays together where they couldn't quite figure it out? All that time they only won 1 finals. It's like,
Can I ask one question? Like, just like, are the 2 first-round picks, is that like throwaway? Like, because in the NFL that's worth a lot, and I don't feel like anyone.
It depends on where they are.
Depends on the
It only
draft
matters
where
if they're
it
like
lands.
top 3.
like
Yeah,
a lottery
probably
pick.
protected
Lottery
even
picks.
then, right?
Yeah. Like this year was a really good NBA draft.
Yeah.
There was really deep. There was a lot of talent. Like the first 5-6 players that went are going to be
but that's
stars.
as far as it goes.
Yeah.
But I will say this:
You find some
the
second rounders,
the
though.
other selections after that must mean something, because every team doesn't have a whole bench full of
Yeah.
top 5 draftees.
Right.
What was Peyton Pritchard drafted at?
Maybe second round.
Second round.
Let me look that
I
up.
mean, your depth comes from beyond the top 5.
yeah.
So
Especially in
having
basketball.
extra picks there is I would think important, but
Oh, he was the
being able-
26th overall.
26. It's still
End of the first round. You don't expect to get
right,
stars or
right.
maybe a
so
contributor.
so the answer to the question, do those first round picks mean anything? If you pick the right guy, they do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is talent identification.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The difference between basketball, where you might be 2 good draft picks away from being really good, whereas football, you have more optimism. And I mean, Paul has correctly broken me of anything on day 3. You're not really having any expectations from those guys,
Yeah.
but still, sometimes
And
you
you
get
know
them.
what? That's when you find like the European guys that no one really
Yeah.
knows or heard of, and then they
Yeah.
end up being like Nikola Jokic.
Right. And see, that's to me is what is sexy about sports, is when you find those guys. And, when you're able to, even just like tie it to the Patriots, like a guy like Craig Woodson, you can take a 4th round pick and, or a 3rd round, whatever he was, not really see it initially. Like, yeah, he's out there a lot. He looks fast. He looks, he looks the part. And I mean, he was kind of quiet in the early part of the season, but they stuck with it. And now, going back, I didn't realize I didn't really watch much of the Super Bowl. I've been watching just bits and pieces of it, but guys everywhere. I mean, you see him real, and that's like, wow, that's really cool to be, and the more teams that can do that, the better you're going to be. You don't have to be tied to all these like, oh man, we really need to hit in this 1st round pick because we are screwed. Like, the more contributions you get from those day 2 and 3 guys, the better your organization's going to be.
Yeah, I mean,
And I really trust Brad Stevens to identify those guys and work them into his system. I mean, and people are really poo-pooing this trade, but I think like you really got to see how it plays out, because Brad Stevens has done everything to earn our trust.
It wasn't a good trade value-wise. Like, there's no way to argue that, they did a good trade. But I think they felt they had to do it. And I look at it the same way as when the Red Sox got rid of Devers. Devers was the face of the franchise, being paid over $300 million, and he was a malcontent. He was the guy the year before.
He's still whining.
Yeah, I know.
Not even here anymore.
Yep. He was the guy the year before when he was on the Red Sox complaining they aren't doing enough to help the team. So the next year, they bring in Bregman. Now, they maybe didn't communicate well enough with it. I'll give him that. But they did something to improve the team. He's a better third baseman than Devers is. So Devers, they just helped the team. All you have to do is play DH or first base. And he just wouldn't do it. And he was complaining. They had the meeting in Colorado with John Henry. coming out of that meeting, Henry said, we're on a better track, but I think whatever Devers said in that meeting, he didn't live up to. And John Henry, in my opinion, rightfully so, said, screw him. He's out of here. I'm not unwilling to pay somebody that much money, but I'm not paying him. I'm not paying the face of my franchise that much money, and he's going to be a malcontent and sit on the Gatorade bucket the whole game and not interact with his teammates, and it's just not worth it. So I'll take the hit and just get rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I would have done the same thing as an owner. I'm not giving a guy like that all that money.
Yeah. That's a hard choice to make. I mean, owners are all really rich, but that's why, they have to make those hard decisions. And I mean, especially when you think about some of the people that, aren't even really around the sport all that much. Like, how much knowledge does Chisholm have about basketball? What's his background? Like, all these guys come from a different place. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But I just root for the fans. You want to keep good players around and have your stars in town. And,
Unlike Paul, you root for the fans.
I do. Well, I think Paul and I have two very different, like I have a prototypical fan in my head that I always like when I do this job and I think about somebody who loves this team, somebody who, when you go through hard times in life, that's a source of joy or something, that's, and they want to know about the team. And that's, and I think Paul thinks more about the people who are they think they're awesome. They get pissed about everything,
His idea of the fan is just all the people that harass him on Twitter.
He wants the world to be forever in neutral. He doesn't want any highs, doesn't want any lows. He just wants everything to be neutral.
The flatline blood pressure. He's a pitcher. That's how pitchers should be, right? You just no ups, no downs. Fair enough.
Gary in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I can relate to the conversation on Thursday's podcast about being a fan of a second team.
Yeah.
Who's your second team in basketball? Do you have one?
In basketball, probably San Antonio right now.
Okay. Why?
I've always liked San Antonio. I've always respected them as an organization, going back to their
Wemby,
glory
when they
days.
were winning?
No, you know who I like even more than Wemby is the what's that kid's name?
What's his name?
Don't ask me.
Dylan.
Whatever.
The son of.
Yeah.
I like the kid from UConn, Dylan Harper Jr.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
NBA Finals were literally a month ago.
Anyway,
and I'm already out of my brain.
You're just I just feel
while you're looking up that, Gary says, I moved to Charlotte in 2009 as a diehard Patriots fan since '73 and tried to adopt the Panthers as my NFC team. I even bought PSLs in 2013 for a few years to try to enjoy the local team here, and living only 20 minutes from the stadium, it was a no-brainer. I'm originally from Maine and used to drive 2+ hours to each Patriots game when I lived in New England. So the new situation seemed great, right? Wrong. As a lifelong Patriots fan, I would sit in my first row club seats and watch the Patriots on my phone instead of watching the live game in front of me. The only enjoyment I ever got at Panthers games were if the Panthers were in town, if the Patriots were in town, and I'd be representing my real team. So no, you can't be a fan of two teams, in my opinion. I also wanted to point out that in the World Cup game between Colombia and Switzerland, ending in regulation at 0-0, the British announcer, don't know his name, mentioned that this game was like watching the 1985 Bears play the 2000 Ravens. I was blown away by the NFL knowledge.
Good reference.
Yeah.
You had a lot of that throughout the World Cup.
Yeah, especially when the U.S. game.
Those English broadcasters are pros.
Yeah.
They are, they are doing their homework, Dylan Harper Jr., Ron Harper's son.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And he plays like Ron Harper's son, 90s.
I have to say, I had
aggressive basketball.
I had a friend in high school, and then right around the time the 49ers were winning all the championships, and he always loved the 49ers, of course. And the Patriots were terrible in the early 90s. But I have to say, I respect him because he still loves the 49ers. Like, I ran into him a couple years ago, and I was like, wow, you really took your, little bandwagon and you rode it. You kept riding it. So I respect that. And I kind of generally agree as somebody who tried to root for other teams. And I liked Seattle when I was a kid. I don't know why. I don't even know why. Like, I had a Steve Largent jersey. I'm trying to ask my dad. He didn't remember if we had come and seen Seattle play here. Maybe that was why. I have no idea. But I loved the Seahawks when I was
anyone like Darius Rucker?
Yeah.
Hootie?
Well, Alan in South Carolina. I will be at Leader Bank Pavilion in Boston on Saturday with Darius Rucker. If anyone on the crew would like free tickets and a meet and greet, please let me know.
Oh, That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. He emailed me about that too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I sadly
He emailed you.
I sadly am busy. Well, he was trying the same emailer was trying to hook me up with Lana Del Rey last year. It got I think rained out at Fenway, and me and my sister couldn't make it.
But this looks like
yeah, that's a good plug.
Yeah, but you can actually meet him.
Yeah.
Like he sounds like
Pretty
he
rad.
works. Yeah.
What's your favorite Hootie and the Blowfish song?
I have no idea.
Let it cry. I wanna be with you. Yeah, they were hot, like 95.
Yeah.
They were
Well, now
big.
he's doing the country thing, and he's really good at that.
No, he's a great singer.
Yep.
I've seen him in Charleston, South Carolina, like on the street before.
I remember him from being introduced to him, but also at the same time talked about before ice mugs, like frozen mugs. You know, when you can they're frozen on the inside, you freeze them, and then you dump them, and you get like
those.
little pieces of ice in your
and when they're not
soda
frozen,
or beverage.
the liquid between them, it's like a lava
I
lamp.
love that.
Those
I
are
gotta
cool.
get one of those.
Vancouver Sean writes in, I want to comment on Christian's hypothesis with the Rams dream team. It's not like the 2011 Eagles. This is more about a good team adding key players and getting better. That's different than just bringing in a bunch of free agents with no kind of chemistry. They already had a great team. This is just adding someone else. I think this actually helps the Rams, and they will probably win the NFC West. It's kind of a good point. You're not bringing in a bunch of free agents, all at once.
Yeah, a little bit on defense, though. I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit on defense. I get the point, though. I got to look at this 2011 Eagles roster because I remember them talking about it. But my God, they were. I mean, it's just that Vince Young said it. Like Vince Young.
Amjad just writes in to say, I'm a big fan of the show and Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
My World Cup prediction is that England will take the cup home.
Yeah, dude, these guys aren't even like in the same atmosphere. I mean, so it was Michael Vick was the lead quarterback, LaShawn McCoy, then the dangerous receiving trio of Jason Avant, Deshaun Jackson, he's okay, Jeremy Maclin, Brent Selleck at tight end. I mean, Jason Peters at left tackle, sure. Jason Kelsey at center, just a rookie, not quite a Hall of Famer yet. But, I mean, on defense, it's like Asante and Nnamdi Asomugha. Otherwise, I mean, Jason Babin, Cullen Jenkins, like, fine. But, I don't know. This Rams team's in its own class, I would say, this year as far as talent. And I just think the one thing is Stafford. That's the biggest piece of it. And it's not that hard for me to imagine the rookie from Alabama, what's his name, having a sub in there and be their quarterback. Like that's I mean, that would be interesting too. But they got weapons, they got running backs, they got a bunch of tight ends they have a brilliant coordinator.
Right.
And their talent on the defensive side of the ball is through the roof on all levels. So it'd be exciting to watch. I got to try to, that's kind of one of my goals here, watch more of some of the other teams in the league just to, get a better sense. I mean, I watch the highlights, but I'd like to be a little bit more dedicated to, just seeing what's going on around the league and knowing those teams a little bit better. So you get so locked in on the Patriots. It's hard sometimes. It's easy
Especially
to lock
with you
in
guys
when
doing the show every Sunday.
Yeah, I'm like, Mondays are not crazy for us when we do the show. I was like, maybe Monday I could, try to blast through a little bit and just try to, look at some of the stuff that's going on in the league. It's one of the things I try to do this offseason.
Just ask Evan, he'll tell you.
Now I want to shout out
2 days later.
I've been looking a lot. I subscribe to the site Match Quarters. They do a great job. This guy Cody, he does daily posts about hardcore defensive X's and O's, and I've really been enjoying it this offseason, just trying to expand my knowledge base a little bit about just trends in the NFL and what teams are doing, because it's always, to me, like, and that's what I always appreciated about Evan even before he came and worked here, was just there's a chess game going on the field that most fans have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on, and I just find those intricacies of the chess match to be really fascinating. So trying to continue to learn as I get old. Yeah.
Cool. This is an email that Alex highlighted in the last newsletter, but I'll read it because it's a good segue. I'm fortunate enough to say, this is Jake, that I purchased my first ever home down in Connecticut. It's the 1948 Cape, large back and front yard with an above ground pool, central air, oil heating. Fred, I'm looking for any helpful tips and tricks for owning a home. Well,
you can forward that to your other email.
Do I have something for you, Jake? I'm going to be launching my own podcast. We're filming our first episode on Sunday. I don't know exactly when it's going to come out after that. I'll let people know. It's called Live from the Toby House. And it's all about my house, which is, yours is new construction compared to mine. Mine was built in 1690. But owning an old home, do it yourself stuff. It's kind of an extension of this show. Appliances, tools, like for example, the 5 tools you need as a new homeowner. Like, things like that.
That's good. I could have used this podcast.
Things like that, and we'll talk about the history of the Cape a little bit, and we'll go to Dennis and check out some stuff in Dennis.
My mom's house is a historic house too, and they have like the Kingswood markings on it and stuff.
Yeah.
But they like picked it up and moved it. So I don't. Has your house always been in that location?
That's one of the things about my house. Is one of the rare ones that is in its original plot.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, most they had to move inland, right? Or a lot of them.
Well, a lot of them are just because of
the
construction going on, and they just move the house.
Now, in Sandwich, are you seeing people buying up these like little Cape houses and just building like little McMansions on them?
In some places, yeah. If they're not historically protected, there's I live close to Sandwich Village, and it's all these old homes, and there are some of the older ones that they took them down, and on the plot they just filled it with just a house. There's no more yard. It's just one big house.
Like California.
Maximize your rental property.
Yeah.
Get all those bedrooms in there so you can charge.
Yeah.
Well, I told Fred
10
about
grand
this.
a week for
I
the
gotta
rental.
get Fred this book. I was at my mom's house this weekend, and I stumbled upon The Evolution of the Cape Cod House and Architectural History by Arthur P. Richmond. It's a delightful book, all kinds of blueprints.
Now, this is like houses on the Cape or like the style of a Cape?
Like the same.
Right.
The same.
Right.
I know
I
what
guess
you're
you're
trying to
right.
ask.
Yeah.
You're totally, because the Cape, I mean, our house is a Cape. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
customizable.
Saltbox roof
right.
type,
But
yeah.
this is, and I wish I had remembered it was the Toby house, because they have all these different historical houses mentioned in it. But, the blueprints talk about what they were like, in the 1600s. I mean, Jeepers Creepers. That's like, I mean, they were still.
Well, there's a map store in Chatham.
Mm-hmm.
It's antique maps and stuff, and they have
Cool.
antique postcards and everything.
Ah.
And I found a postcard of my house.
Really?
But they called it the old house, and they had it wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely my house.
Was it ever an inn or a restaurant? Or it's always been a residence?
They say maybe in the 1700s it might have been operated as a tavern. Because
Cool.
it's got that central chimney that powers 5 different fireplaces. But you can see they added 1, 2, 4 extra fireplace chimneys
Cooking
in
food,
other
maybe?
places.
Oh.
So they think that it might have been operated as a tavern at one point.
That's cool. Ghosts? Any ghosts in there, Fred? You got it?
I haven't seen any.
No? All right.
It's,
My cousin runs a ghost tour in Provincetown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's done it for probably like 15 years or so now. But there's like a lot of history out there, a lot of haunted history. It's
Read a
really
book about
fun.
a serial killer that was out there back
Tony
in like
Chop
the
Chop.
60s. Yeah.
Tony
yeah,
Chop
yeah.
Chop.
The Lady of the Dunes. I
Yup.
mean, there's been a lot of.
And I think
there's
they
a lot of
recently
cute stuff.
solved the mystery
Yeah.
of the Lady of the
Yeah.
Dunes, but that was the big
Her name
Provincetown.
Lorna?
Yeah.
No way.
Lorna Doone.
No, it's a woman that had all her limbs cut off and was her head almost completely severed off by this notorious serial killer who was nicknamed Tony Chop Chop in Provincetown or Truro, somewhere on the Outer Cape. But they just found her body in the dunes, and I think they traced it back to like she was like a woman in the Midwest that was working on the Cape for the summer.
Yeah, he that Tony Chop Chop, he did the same to a guy, cut his legs and arms off, threw him in the ocean. They called him Bob.
Oh, jeez. Funny enough, Fred, I was on the Albatross and I heard a 10-year-old kid make that exact same joke across
really?
the boat. He goes,
I see Matt
That
laughing.
joke?
"What do you call a kid with no arms or legs?" And the Bob, lying in front of a door, Matt. The full guy with no arms, legs jokes.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Well, that should
listen.
be good, Fred. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too, but it's going to be a lot of work. I did.
Do you have graphics and stuff?
We're going to get them.
Okay.
I
Are you
shot-
tapping like Karina?
So what we did in the first episode,
video team,
to
hey, I need a video
to show
camera.
people what my house looked back in the day. We went down the street and we did a tour of the Hoxie House, which is a museum now, and it's exactly the way it was back then. So we filmed that to show what my house looked like back then, and then we'll do a tour of my house, and then we'll branch out into like all
Aren't you
the
worried that like
do it yourself people.
to show people like your home?
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
Like your dungeon.
I'm gonna have
You
to hide
reveal
all
your
my
dungeon?
medications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the dungeon. We don't go down there.
Yeah. What's that noise? Don't worry.
Help!
About it.
Help!
It's nothing. It's nothing. Just
It's
a
Eric
house settlement.
Scalabino in the basement.
Yeah. All right. That's going to be it for this show. We're back to our regular schedule for now anyway. So we'll be back on Thursday at noon. Is it going to be just the three of us again?
Might be
or-
just the three of
Yeah, I
us.
guess so,
Maybe,
huh?
Maybe.
Okay.
There is
All
no
right,
catch
we will
22
see you-
tomorrow.
Oh, catch 22. What's this?
No catch 22 tomorrow.
Off this week.
Sorry.
We've caught nothing this week.
Yeah, nothing.
No. We've
It's a
caught
football show. There's no football. They're not doing a show.
Okay,
Period.
but we'll be back on Thursday. We'll see you then.
Hey, this is Deuce. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else that we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.